Jarvis, drop my needle.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and if you are interested in listening to idiots, you came to the right place. Have a nice day.
Woo! That's an attention getter.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
You know, of course, that you're out of your jurisdiction.
Personally, I think you're an idiot.
But that's the evidence in the car.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Always like to keep my audience riveted.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends and fiends, and welcome to Free Range Idiocy. It's the podcast about everything, but mostly just the stuff we like. It's been a couple minutes since we've talked about anything related to the MCU, so it's fortuitous that Feige and company will be giving us a new flick just in time for all the romantically inclined nerds among us on Valentine's Day. The fourth Captain America movie will be the first with our man Sam as Cap and Harrison Ford stepping in his Thunderbolt Ross. As usual, there's a trail of rumors about a mile long, and we're going to paw our way through them and give you our professional idiotic opinion on what's going to happen in this episode 194, A Brave New Cap. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the man who still thinks he was snubbed during the casting for Falcon just because he ordered an extra baggy flight suit. He has been my partner in Idiocy for over 2 decades and probably isn't getting his deposit back on that costume. I give you the man they call Tim.
Greetings and salutations, my friend. Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise, boy, I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stack fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business. I live this. It's automatic, I win this. Oh, you hear those horns, you finished. A soldier and I stay under your fighting. Plus I'm storming on you chumps like I'm thunder and lightning.
We doing the entire thing here?
I am. I'm going to keep going. God. Ain't no way you breaking me, kid. I'm harder than nails. Plus, I keep it on lock like I'm part of the jail. I'll stop there. Your time is up. My time is now. John Cena.
Thank you. Did he write it? Does he get a writing credit on this?
I think it says John Cena and the, spelled T-H-A, the trademark, who I think was the guy did some raps with back in the day. There was... forget the song, but it was like the video had him dressed up as Hannibal from the A-Team. It was like an A-Team spoof.
Okay,
and that was pretty funny. It's pretty good.
Right. Did you see that thing I sent you on the Instagram about there's supposedly a Boston PLE that's going to happen?
I did
for Cena's last match.
I think that would be phenomenal.
I'm wondering if you're planning any travel out east in December.
I wasn't. I would like to see dates and just get a sense of when this would be. And,
that's the problem because you know what? You can't see the dates.
You can't see me. My time is now.
Oh gosh, don't know. Stop. We got. I've had enough.
How did you like the spoken word from the man they called Tim?
It was good. You started getting a little rangy in there at times. You're like, but I mean, otherwise,
hey, I'm trying to bring some dynamics to it.
I appreciate it.
Articulation.
You are honing your craft, sir.
Tonal, variance. I want to make sure this is interesting. I don't want to be, like
your
Chuck Schumer at a press conference talking monotone.
You and your tonal toenails are you're all over it.
This is the beer. It comes from never mind.
Anyways, yes, we are going to be talking about Captain America 4, Captain America Brave New World. However, first, we've got some other business to attend to. We've got a whole bunch of stuff going on here in the Week. Well, maybe. I don't know. Tim is still deciding what he wants to include in the Week in Geek, but the Week in Geek is coming up next.
It's right here, Ray. It's looking at
the franchise doing big business. I live this.
So funky.
Indeed we do. All right. Well, as we have been wont to do in the year 2025 of our Lord, we have started off the Week in Geek for the last several episodes with a sub-segment. Yes, the Week in Geek was the original sub-segment, and now
it's breeding.
Now we have another sub-segment.
It's actually it's like a cell. It keeps dividing.
Well, this is of your own doing, sir, because you've introduced us to the Monday Night Raw cheers and jeers. And so let's run through.
Hang on, I got something for you here.
Okay. Oh, snap! Let's hear it. Ah, the old... Oh, there it is. Oh, here we go. Man. I love that we have music for the sub-segment.
This was like the best Raw theme of all time. The original was terrible. This is like...
Yep. Phenomenal.
And this is where everyone's like walking through like a beat-up warehouse and like explosions are going off. It was like the most Attitude Era thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing you're missing is like a scantily clad woman just like draped across like a trash can for no reason.
Basically.
Anyways, this is Raw Cheers and Jeers with theme music.
What's that?
I said it's Cheers and Jeers with theme music. So
it was. I thought you were going to jump into your cheers to start with.
I can. So I guess, and this kind of goes along with, well, I mean, this is a counterpoint more to yours, but I'll go with my first with to kind of go with yours. Gunther with the big heel move to interrupt the Jey Uso yeeting.
Yes.
That is right up there with any other, like Kevin Owens refusing to go up on the little ladder and drop an elbow or something. Like that is the big heel move right now, is if you interrupt the yeet. I mean, and I love how McAfee actually did say he interrupted a good yeet. I was like, is he like totally like channeling Bobby the Brain Heenan right now? Because that sounds like something that Heenan would have said.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. And Gunther's, and of course, one of your cheers being, of course,
Gunther's beatdown of Jey Uso. Ladies and gentlemen, this was week number 2 of apparently the action in the stadium, starting off with Jey Uso out in the crowd in, kind of the main building area.
Concourse, if you will.
The concourse, walking into the arena, doing his yeeting with the peoples.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have this jeer right here. It's going to be a long road to WrestleMania if he's going to open every freaking Raw between now and then like this, because good God Almighty, I don't know if I can do it.
I will say this, though, as a counterpoint to that, not necessarily a cheer, but just as a way to kind of balance that. I know that the online community has had some things to say about Jey Uso. It is not bearing out in the real world. Like, this is becoming one of those things of like, this is getting back to like the old message board days of like everyone, oh, this thing is terrible. And then the crowd loving stuff that people online are like, this is terrible. Dude, this guy is over like friggin' Rover. Like, he got a one more time chance when the theme music played out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, this thing, like, and it's not just the thing where the entrance is over, because we've seen that. Like, Ronda Rousey was a great example. Like, people love to hear the Joan Jett song and see her come out and the strut and all that. And then the match started, and people kind of almost had this moment of like, oh yeah, I forgot, she doesn't really care. Huh. And then just disinterest.
Yep.
People are into his matches. Like, they are into him. So, I mean, man, I'm not exactly the hugest fan of like his work necessarily. You can't deny the charisma and the fact that this is the thing that people are choosing. So, hey, let's see where it goes, man.
Yep.
I did like that. Actually, what is your next cheer? Because I'm gonna co-sign on this one.
Let's see. So next year was a nice segment to declare Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. Is that the one you're talking about?
I did like that. I did like how they kind of it felt like it took a little bit long to get there. I think we could have kind of gotten to that point a little bit sooner. But I did like the way that played out. I love how we're kind of getting like Jey Uso as the underdog and that scrappiness. Like they're sort of starting to give him, like, his personality is coming out a little bit more as an individual, instead of just being like, oh, it's Uso 1, Uso 2. Like, but going back to the Conquistador days, it's like now we're starting to actually see Jey, and it is just him, Us. So yeah, that was good. One I'm going to throw in here because I think it came in sequence before your next jeer. the Hulk Hogan Real American Beer commercials are terrible. It's like a parody, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Like, I keep waiting for someone like to wink or something to be like, hey, we know this is bad. It's like, no, you actually think this is good.
Yeah.
Like, you really actually, like, somebody did this and thought, like, this is the best commercial ever.
Someone said, ship it.
I don't get it.
And off it went to the studios.
Do not get it. If the beer is of any close to any quality of the commercial, it must be like skunk piss in a can. Actually, I'm thinking that's probably the upside, is that, it might be as good as
That's
skunk
a very
piss in a
Uncle
can.
Corny description you just gave. So,
well, son, let me tell you. Couldn't give a cripple crutch to a frog.
Be like snake piss in a rusty can. So let's see. I actually don't have too many jeers. I felt this show was actually top to bottom pretty good overall. Yeah. So I'm not going to have a jeer for a little bit here, but great women's tag match. Really, I know this isn't probably a great thing for the talent because it means less airtime for less people, but I like the way they're doing their, like letting these matches breathe, have the space to, develop. Because quite honestly, this match I almost did a jeer on this match at first because something wasn't clicking for me at the very beginning. It just
was very
wasn't
glitchy. Yes.
Yeah, it was glitchy. It just there was something just not right with it. And then as it kept going, then they found their second and third gear,
There
and
was
then it
still
started
some
rolling.
moments, but it decreased drastically as the match went on. Yes, for sure.
And I got to give a major cheer to Liv Morgan. So if we're going to say Mommy is one hell of a seller, Liv Morgan has mastered the face of pain. she like when they zoom in on her and she just takes a big move and she's just like, eh. I mean, I can't do the face she does, but my God, does she look like she is in absolute agony?
Yes.
And it's convincing,
Yeah. I got a question
phenomenal.
for you. How are you feeling about the direction they're kind of going with Liv and Raquel, where you basically have Raquel being Big Mommy Cool to Liv Morgan's HBK? I'm kind of digging it. Like, it kind of works, because
I like it, except, well, I don't mind the concept of it, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Something's just not clicking with Raquel Rodriguez for me. Like she comes across as a pretender. Like, I don't get a sense of malice with her. I don't like when Kevin Nash showed up as we didn't know him as anything. He was just Shawn Michaels' bodyguard. And all you knew is the guy hauled off and nailed people when they got in his face. And so you're like, ooh, I wouldn't mess with that guy.
Yeah.
Raquel Rodriguez has been bounced around from here, there, and everywhere. And it's just I'm just not, I don't know.
Yeah. It almost feels like if you could somehow Frankenstein like Zoe Stark and Raquel Rodriguez, because Zoe Stark does have that aura of like, this is probably not someone you want to mess with.
Yes.
Because she probably will take you apart.
Yeah.
I kind of do dig the dynamic that they're doing there, and I think they even refer to her as Big Mommy Cool in the Rumble or something.
No, I mean, maybe it'll grow on me, maybe it'll develop, but I just I don't know. There's a killer instinct there with Raquel Rodriguez I'm just not getting. Whereas Shayna Baszler isn't tall or as taller than Liv Morgan, but if they could have done like something with Baszler or like you mentioned Zoe Stark, where it's just the silent brooding.
But the thing is, you need to have, if you're going to have the silent brooding bodyguard, you need to have the very flamboyant,
right?
Charismatic, and smaller individual that needs to have a bodyguard, and Liv fits that perfectly because I mean
she does.
Liv is. I mean, just over last year and then even this year, even when she's not doing really anything significant, like she still is one of those folks. It's like you got to keep an eye on her because she's going to do something kind of interesting.
Yeah,
and that's a little bit of Shawn Michaels going on, and not to mention the fact she works her ass off.
Yep.
I would love to see Raquel pull out the jackknife powerbomb and just start doing that just to complete the thing.
Yeah. No, I think so. I mean, I think. Great examples at the Royal Rumble when Raquel Rodriguez came out, when her number was called, she comes out, she kind of stands there, and she did almost like this lip snarl, which I'm kind of like, where did that come from? Like you don't normally do like it.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like like there's something lacking genuinely from her that way, and I don't know if they need to work on her acting a bit more or what, but I don't know. Something about her just doesn't click for me sometimes. So
Yeah.
I will see in the future if maybe she finally finds a rhythm. But
Indeed.
together as a tandem, I think they're a good team. With her playing the spoiler for Liv, kind of helping Liv win matches and stuff. I mean, she does that in spades. She does that well.
Yeah.
But this match was phenomenal. I mean, a lot of great action, great back and forth. And so, yeah, so I just wanted to give a cheer to that match because it definitely, it started out a little clunky, but found its rhythm.
Yeah, I'll give a cheer to Io Kai's missile drop kick in particular. That just a thing of beauty.
Yes.
She's another one of the women who I've really kind of has grown on me. And I feel like we're getting a little bit more personality, but just appreciating more her work. And just how hard of a worker she is, and it's one of those things where you start getting to the point like, okay, maybe not taking that bump on a Monday night, save that. But no, it was gorgeous. Not quite as good as Zoe Stark's missile drop kick from the top rope, but very close, very close.
Nice.
I actually don't have a lot of jeers on here.
No.
I will go with one. Oh no, you go with your. It's next in the kind of.
So
sequence.
my next, are we doing a jeer or a cheer? Sorry.
Whatever's your pleasure.
All right, I'll do a jeer, and then flip over to a cheer. But having Lyra Valkyra lose in an Elimination Chamber qualifier, I was not happy with this because this does not build her up as an IC champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I get her going into the Royal Rumble and getting thrown over, but now is not the time for her to enter in a one-on-one match and get beat. She needs to be establishing herself as the champ, and not that she has to be dominant, but just that show like why she like this title win of hers was not a fluke.
Yeah.
And she's never been presented as a fluke. She's been presented as a strong talent. So keep that going. I don't know why they had to pair her with Bayley unless they just were like have Jordynne Grace or something like that be the one against Bayley and have her. I mean, she's just coming into the company. You know what I mean? Like,
well, she's still not technically in WWE. She's TNA, right?
No, she has signed. She is done with TNA. She's no longer contractually with TNA. Wow. She's with WWE. The thing they haven't done with her yet is assign her to a brand, and so we don't know. Yeah, that way. But it just felt like there could have been someone else that could have been plugged into that slot, and instead, have her, maybe fight one of the gals from NXT or something like that to just get a good title defense under her belt or something like that. Like, I just feel like they should be building her up, not using her as fodder for Bayley. But at the same time, they did a nice ending of the match. Bayley, sign of respect afterwards. So we will see. And I don't know if it bodes well for her that she's hanging around with the Alpha Academy, Alpha Babes. I don't know what the heck they're called. It's Otis's crew. So
that's kind of weird. The counterpoint to that is I think this is a case of there's no way in hell they're gonna put her into the chamber, just like she wasn't gonna win the Royal Rumble. Like, she just won the first ever women's IC match belt. Yep. She's gonna be there for a little while because you don't want that belt to move around too much. I think this was a case of them acknowledging the fact, hey, we got 3 hours of TV per week, and we definitely want you on it, but we also have to get the Elimination Chamber match, lined up.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, well, all right, let's put her in here. We'll protect her because we're going to it's not like it was a squash match. I mean, it was a very even match, and it went back and forth, and she looked strong in it.
Yep.
And I think the thinking is like, there's no shame in losing to Bayley, who is she's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Multi-time world champion. It protects her in a way by having a solid 50-50 match with her and coming up short. Like I could see that argument being made. Like, hey, we're putting you on TV. We're putting you in with a former world champ. Yeah, you're going to do the job, but I mean, you're still in there with her. This gets you visibility, and you get the show of respect afterwards. So you kind of get, you get a bit of a rub there from
I
her.
do.
So
I
that's
do
what
see that.
I would think is the thought process.
I see that a little bit. My only counterpoint is, okay, now Bailey gets an IC title shot, right? Because she pinned the champ.
I mean,
but they're not going to do that.
No.
But that's the logical conclusion you can draw. It's like, okay, you just pinned the champ. Yes, it was an elimination chamber match or qualifier, but you've pinned the champ. So now you should get a title shot, right? Yeah. So now Bailey's got to do the honors for her, because I mean, Bailey's not going to win the IC belt. She's,
and maybe they will.
Things.
Maybe they will do that. But I mean, I think right now and I was thinking about this the other day, which I'll tell you how much I need some help. But just thinking about, like, it's an unenviable position that you're in with WWE Creative to have a big roster, a talented roster, and only 6 hours of network television per week. And you've got to try and make all this work. And you're trying to not do the quick matches, the quick, and hot shot booking and all this. And you're trying to build. There's only so much time.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to have matches that breathe a bit more, that you're giving quality, in ring action. There's times where you're going to have to do stuff like this just to keep someone visible, But yeah, I see your point totally. I'm just trying to think of, like, what was it like in the creative meeting?
Yep.
If nothing else.
Yeah.
What do you got, sir?
For jeer or cheer?
Either one.
My cheer was Dirty Dom's Heat.
It's
great to see him back talking, and the crowd just, trying to drown him out.
And him and Carlito taking up for him and, cussing people out in Spanish, and then Dom slipping into a little Spanish too.
I feel bad for Carlito. Like, he got a great pop when he first came back at that Puerto Rican, PLE, about a year or so. Maybe it's over 2 years now. He gets paired with Judgment Day, but he's, like, done nothing. Like, I don't feel like he's done he hasn't been featured at all. And I mean, he's a great wrestler. I just don't understand why they can't plug him into a story or something. So
you've got too many people. And they're still trying to sift through, like, some of these factions. And
I did like how he ripped the mic away from Dom to yell at the crowd in Spanish and get like every time they would start booing over what he was saying, and he's like he's just making a big.
I do love that, like, the fact that he gets so angry he's just going to slip into the mother tongue. That's like that is a great gimmick.
Yeah,
that's a great gimmick.
Yes. So that was a cheer. I thought the Rollins Balor face off was, once again we got the interview with what's her name?
It's not Kelly. It's
Jackie Redmond.
Yes.
In kind of the crowd space there, we have Seth freaking Rollins coming out. My one jeer here is I did not like Rollins' glasses. He looked like some boob from, like, the Back to the Future Part 2, futuristic movie.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was a good face-off with him and Balor. And this goes to a larger cheer that I have for Raw overall is, man, they did a great job of booking matches for not just next week, but then, beyond that too. Mm-hmm. And so, Rollins Balor is going to be the big qualifier next week. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, conventional wisdom says Rollins is going to go forward because you got to have Rollins in that match with Punk. But I did have a thought, because the current rumor right now is that it's going to be Punk versus Reigns versus Rollins in a triple threat, and at WrestleMania, because Reigns will probably come back at some point, and something will happen in Elimination Chamber between Rollins and Punk where they're going to want to throw hands at each other. And so one thought that occurred to me, which I think is very poetic, is whatever happens between now and then between Rollins and Punk, where maybe Rollins gets Punk eliminated or something like that. But how funny would it be that Seth Rollins' very actions will be the very thing that gets Punk into the main event with him and Reigns? And now Rollins has no one to blame but himself for getting Punk what he wanted.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be phenomenal storytelling. And again, you got Punk sitting there like, I win.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
And Rollins is just at this point pulling hair out of his head at this. It's
Yeah.
just phenomenal.
No, that's good.
Anyways,
my
sorry.
jeer is I just don't know what they're doing with Finn Balor. Like I feel like Finn is one of those guys who his time unfortunately was wasted a lot during the Vince era, and having to lose and having to give up the championship because of injury immediately after getting it.
Yeah, that's awful. And then never getting a chance again to happen.
Yeah. And now it's like he's such a throwaway character.
Yeah.
That it's like if there were another company that didn't have their head completely up their ass, like this would be the perfect time for, Triple H to do a solid and be like, dude, it's time to go another place, reinvent yourself and do things. But like, there's no way, like there's nothing we can do with you here that is going to reinvigorate your character. We've got too many people.
Mm-hmm.
Go and make some money elsewhere. But unfortunately, I feel like that would be almost more of a curse. Like, yeah, go to AEW. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because it's worked out so well for Edge.
He's another one that's kind of on the tail end of his career too. He's I think pushing late 30s, almost in his 40s. I mean, the one thing that they could do with him that I think would be kind of cool is both he and AJ Styles are
dude's 43.
Is he 43? Okay, yeah. So he and AJ Styles are former leaders of the Bullet Club, back from New Japan, and so and neither of them, I don't think, I think they may have crossed paths here or there in a match, nothing significant on television, but I think that would be kind of cool. But to your point, though, they already did a reboot with him where he went from being Finn Balor as he was in NXT and had been for several years on the main roster to, kind of tapping into that, Prince Devitt character from New Japan, where he was much more ruthless, yet was this kind of cool face character. And then he turned into the diabolical heel for Judgment Day. Judgment Day to me is dead. Like I don't see that faction serving a purpose right now other than just being a holding cell for the people involved. And the story of them all is they're all miserable with each other. It's like at some point, just split them all up. Let Liv and Raquel do their thing. Let Carlito run around with Dom, and Finn, either retire or go, do a round with AJ where you guys tag and raise some hell and then face off against each other.
Yeah. It's too bad because the dude is talented, but it's at this point, like his character is just so stale. And like, you just, barring some miraculous turnabout here, I don't know what they're going to do. I'll throw one in here. Just the War Raiders Creed Brothers match, using Ivar as a weapon. Like where they both were like up, and I'm like, oh, okay, what does that mean? And then all of a sudden, like Eric picks Ivar up, like the little guy, the littler of the two, because neither one of them are small, picks up the bigger dude and then slams him. I'm like, okay, that's impressive. And also, like, whichever Creed brother that was, like, I'm sorry, that's going to be a rough night for you, bub. You're going to need a couple ice packs after that, no matter how well you are braced.
Yes.
You just had a very large human being slammed on top of you.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed.
So that was cool to watch.
Yeah. My jeer with that match is, and this is exactly how I wrote it: Brutus Creed sucks. That is all. I don't know what it is with this guy, and it's not he's playing up like a heel tendency sort of thing. He comes down to the I don't understand how. I don't mean to be. I don't mean to be mean. This is going to sound very mean the way I'm going to put this.
Go ahead, be mean.
I don't understand why this guy is on the main roster. He looks like he's out of shape. He has the most annoying haircut in the world, and all he does is this high-pitched hyena laugh.
Yes, okay. So
at the most inopportune times. And I'm just like, how is he paired up with this other guy as like, this American-made, Chad Gable, person? Like, he's not in shape. He's not like, I don't see him
just to channel Uncle Corny here. Why don't you just say his mama dresses him funny too?
Well, that too. But my God, I'm just like, this guy is like, what is his purpose? I just don't get it. At least Julius, the other Creed brother, I mean, shows some athleticism, looks the part, looks great in the ring. Brutus just looks like a complete goof from top to bottom. I just don't see anything redeeming there. Maybe
his role.
He does well with the high pitched laugh, but good God Almighty. And I don't have this written. I don't have this written down as a jeer, but I do feel like the ending to that match was a little nonsensical because I understand maybe the Creed brothers get frustrated, but they're the ones challenging for the belts. Why would you purposely take the belt and nail the guy right in front of the ref? You know what I mean?
If nothing else, it was nice to see a good old-fashioned DQ because we've seen all of this stuff, where it's like everybody's in the ring, there's no more tags and this and that and the other, and there's interference galore and there's no DQ. And at least here it's like, okay, you hit the guy in the face with the belt right in front of the referee and we actually got a disqualification. I'm like, at first when it happened, I'm like, oh, we still do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. I mean, yeah, I agree it was lame, but it kind of harkened back to like, oh, this is like an 80s sort of thing. Interesting.
Indeed.
I've got one cheer for I believe it was that match, but when Cole and McAfee were talking about Newton and Edison, it was positively Madden-esque.
Yes.
It was like listening to John Madden and Pat Summerall back in the day. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with these two? Like, they're having too much fun, way too much fun, which is kind of nice. But at the same time, like, okay, I can just imagine, Triple H on the mic, like, okay, guys, reel it in. Okay, reel it in. I know you're having fun out there, but there is a match going on. You remember you remember the wrestling part of this show? It's not just you. It's happening right in front of you. And they're all fairly big. They're tough to miss. One of them is in red. Two of them are in red, white, and blue. But no, that was actually a lot of funny. Where he's like, so which one was electricity? That was Edison. That was great.
Funny.
That was a lot of fun.
Nice. My final cheers are great Punk promo. Enjoyed that. Punk's always good on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And then Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio was good. And great hook at the very end with Paul beats Mysterio, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere there's the New Day putting the beat down on Rey Mysterio as they fade to black. Like, you have no idea how this ends. You got to watch the clips online to see what the New Day did to Rey Mysterio. But it seems like that's the direction Mysterio is going into, is the New Day versus the LWO. So we will see what happens.
Could be worse.
We will see what happens. All right. Anything else on your side, sir, that we missed?
No, just...
yes. I love that we now have a theme song for the sub-segment of the sub-segment. This is like a little crazy podcast inception going on here. Nice. Rick Steiner likes this.
It's way harder than it has any right to.
Yep. I don't know what the heck you're saying.
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't.
That was actually the Chic on the lyrics right there.
All right. So what did you have to replace in order to host that on the Zencaster soundboard?
Here. We are no longer making you humble.
Oh, we got rid of
You are worse than Hulk Hogan.
You are worse than Hulk Hogan
though.
for doing that. All right.
Well,
I'm kidding. No, I appreciate your creativity in bringing the Raw theme in. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. I'm complimenting you. Take it easy.
Okay. Don't you tell me to take it easy.
Simma. No. I used to love that when parents of my friends would tell me to simmer. It had the opposite effect, quite honestly. It's like, simmer, huh? All right. Well, Sunday we had another.
Shut up, Wesley.
We're going to work backwards a little bit here, but Sunday we had a beatdown for the ages on live television for all the world to see.
How sweet it is.
And there's no ref chicanery, tomfoolery, or ballyhoo that was going to stop this freight train that was rolling. Holy
There was no evil Hubbard Hebner brother to run out and call this one.
No, they would have needed another half of play to just help the Chiefs catch up to what happened to them. But my God, This was a beat down. This was a smoting. As as the real fantasy football champion, I just want to say, once again, I was watching this game. I was scouting talent for next season. But I got to say, Uncle Todd no longer is the man you think of when you hear the word smoke. It's now the Kansas City Chiefs. Ooh, it's got a beat. Oh, you stopped it.
You started to enjoy it, and that.
Oh my!
There we go. Thank you, Sula. But nonetheless, your thoughts are on the big game. I was absolutely giddy that Patrick Mahomes and company were just getting smothered and smoted left, right, and center. But what were your thoughts?
I mean, it wasn't as close as the final score would indicate, for sure. Eagles handled their business. I mean, it was in doubt up until like the third drive, and then it was pretty much over. Man, Eagles just smothered the Kansas City offense. And
the Eagles' offense was supercharged.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those deals where it felt like the old Andy Reid came out at the worst possible time, because that was always the thing with Andy Reid, is like he seemed like a nice guy, seemed like a good coach, but he was going to be the Marty Schottenheimer of his era. Like, he was going to be that guy that gets you close but never quite gets you over the hump. And as witness when he got to the Super Bowl with McNabb and the Eagles, they were not prepared for a 2-minute drill. Like, how in the hell are you not like, that's something that you prepare for normally, just in the course of like game planning. And they were it seemed they were baffled by the idea of like, hey, we have to hurry up.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help when your quarterback is like, puking on the field, I guess, out of anxiety, but whatevs. I mean,
yeah.
But it seemed like this was like a little bit of the old Andy Reid coming back, where they did not seem prepared at all for that Eagles pass rush. They didn't. I mean, it seemed, and I get, like, you can say, oh, well, their offensive line wasn't as good, or they might have had injuries. I don't know the ins and outs of like all the personnel involved in the game. I haven't really watched football this year, but it did not even seem like they were trying to bring in another extra tight end or a lineman or anything. Like, they didn't have a real plan except for, and no, that ain't going to work.
Well, the plan was to just be crowned the 3-time champions. I think that was the plan. Showing up and actually making that happen, I don't think that was part of the plan.
Well, Andy didn't get around to that part yet. He was too busy at the Golden Corral, getting a buffet taken care of. It was a fun game to watch, but at the same time, after a while, it was like, all right, well, this one's pretty much over. It was very satisfying to, of course, then, kind of see a little bit of that Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT, and Patrick Mahomes is way better than Brady and all this stuff, which, hey, he might end up winning like 8 Super Bowls. Maybe he does. I don't know. It's a little soon to evaluate that, because you have
you humble.
You have one dude who had a 20-year career, and another dude who's only about a quarter of the way through that. You can't evaluate this at this point. He's been in the Super Bowl, 4 times now?
Yeah.
And he's 2-2.
Or
has he been 5 times? I don't know. But anyways, he's won 2, right?
Let me check.
Because they won the last 2.
Patrick Mahomes.
But still, I mean, it's early to be judging that, because, again, Brady.
Patrick Mahomes is 3-2 in Super Bowls in his career.
Okay, so he's got 3. Brady had 3 Super Bowls in his first 4 years as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took an awfully long time to get those next 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how this plays out. Like, it's the NFL. It's not just on his shoulders. It's the team around you. It's the coaching. It's all of those things. But it was a little satisfying, because I got so sick and tired of hearing that, even as only like a peripheral NFL watcher at this point. It was very aggravating to see, just like, oh my gosh, he's so much better than Brady. But it's like, oh, come on now. Like, you can't judge this for another 10 years.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
You just can't. What were your thoughts, sir? I've spoken long enough.
No, I mean, as far as the game goes, and I happened to pull this article up as you were talking. So it looks like Super Bowl draws record average of 127.7 million viewers. It is the most watched game and halftime show in history, with Kendrick Lamar drawing an average of 133.5 million viewers.
So wait a minute, I saw something that has said that it was down. The halftime show was down from last year. So apparently, we have different sources.
Okay.
Here.
Okay, this is on Yahoo.
Okay.
Yahoo may not be the most accurate.
Well, but I mean, their ratings numbers. I mean,
yeah.
Anyways, but go ahead, sir.
But nonetheless, seemed like it drew a good crowd. But no, I thought the game was phenomenal. I'm very much in the anti-Mahomes crowd, and so I wanted to see Philly win. And in the very beginning, I texted Uncle Todd because I thought there was ref shenanigans from the very beginning. There was a offensive pass interference called against the Eagles, which when you saw the replay, you're just
that
like,
was ridiculous. That was so ticky tacky because they were both
so dumb.
They were both like hands on. Like you've got to call that down the middle.
So I'm like, here we go. This is what's going to be the thing that undoes the Eagles, because as soon as they get any sort of momentum, they're going to call crap against them. That did not happen from that point on. It was, pretty much the Eagles were, it wasn't evident it was going to be a blowout right away, but they worked their way to it. 7-0, 10-0, 17-0. I loved when they went into halftime. If I'm not mistaken, did they not score a touchdown, I think, to close the first half? It was 24-0.
I think so. I might have been hallucinating on cheese dip at that point, though.
Which was crazy because the Chiefs got the ball the second half, and it was probably the first time I've watched a game where the team defers. And coming out, I don't think having the ball to start the second half is really going to do much of anything at that point.
No, because you haven't prepared.
No.
Seemingly over the 2 weeks you had to prepare for this game, that extra long halftime ain't going to help you.
No.
Don't matter. Like they were probably hoping that Kendrick had like an encore plan, just to delay things.
Yep.
Like, hey, don't you have another song you can play? Another one, just anything.
Yes. The halftime show, I got to tell you, I did not mind it. I like the fact that it was just, it just felt more like an artist at work. You know what I mean? Like it just, I appreciated the dancing. I have no idea about Kendrick Lamar's, discography and any of his songs. So when he would start switching from song to song and the crowd kind of got happy or whatever, I'm just like, I have no idea why.
Yeah.
And then I learned, yesterday as I read up on it a little bit more, I was aware there was some like drama between him and Drake, but I'm at an age where I just don't follow this stuff. I'll watch professional wrestling, but I won't watch the real feuds that happen in reality.
Well, I mean, our big feud was like, Biggie and Tupac, and both of those guys ended up getting shot. So I mean, after that, it's like, you know what?
Fair enough.
I don't know that I want to follow up on this stuff because this has scarred me a little bit.
So like, so he ends up doing this song, Not Like Us, which apparently is huge and is like supposed to be the nail in the coffin of this feud between them or whatever. I wasn't following any of it. I talked to my parents afterwards. I'm like, this is the first time I think I can, honestly and transparently admit I am old because whatever was on there, I wasn't following any of it. I didn't mind it. I thought he had some good music. We had a little Samuel Jackson out there as kind of the narrator, which
Uncle
I thought was
Sam,
pretty cool.
man. I mean, come on.
Which I thought was great with, in the beginning where he's like, here I am, your Uncle Sam. It's like, there it is.
That was beautiful.
But no, I mean, I love the artistry of it, though. I mean, it was colorful. It was, and I've read a lot of crap, about, it sucked. I didn't understand it. Nah. But I'm thinking to myself, like we get all if it was a band that we were familiar with that was out there playing, and of course we would appreciate it because of the fandom we have for that band, whether it's Springsteen or someone else, right?
Yeah.
There's a familiarity there, and yes, I follow that a little bit more. But what's the problem with hearing someone else who, I don't follow so much, and just experience that? It's like, I just love how we're of this mindset. It's like, if it's not familiar to me, it sucks, and it's like, maybe we just need to open our minds a little bit and take in some different music and try to understand it,
Yeah. Well, maybe just realize that you aren't the default for everything.
Right.
Then that's the thing. Like I talked to a couple folks about it, and it was funny because I was sitting I was sitting with a friend of mine watching the halftime show, and he is not a pulp culture type person. He's a couple years older than I am, so old, just as I am at this point. And he's like, he's like, do you get any of this? I'm like, not really. I was like, I know there's a story unfolding here. I know there's a narrative.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's also like a lot of people chitter chattering in different rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
So we didn't have it, cranked up. We didn't have subtitles on. Neither one of us is familiar with Kendrick Lamar's discography as like yourself. I'm aware of who he is.
Yeah.
But not on a fan level, like
But you know what I did after the fact?
Mm-hmm.
I read up on it.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it again. I started to understand. Like it did not occur to me that there was this theme of that it was like this video game. Like that didn't. Part of it is the TV we have up in our living room is old, and I don't think the sound system is great. So some of this sound, I'm not hearing some of the words like clearly because of the muddled sound coming out of that TV. But no, I went back and watched it. There's actually, I think some good themes there that he was trying to put out there, around, the state of our country and a few other things. And so I just thought the way he did it was just it was subtle. It wasn't like smack you over the head with it, but it was there. And
well,
I appreciate that.
I saw when they came out, and I was like, "Oh, it's tic-tac-toe," and then I'm like, "Well, wait a minute, no, that's a try."
It's PlayStation is what it is.
Yeah, and then it finally occurred to me after like halfway through, I'm like, "Oh, I get that."
Yeah.
And but the funny thing is, and like I was talking to my friend, he's like, "Do you really think this represents like what fans of the NFL want?" I was like, "Not all of them," but I said, "You also got to realize we aren't in that target demographic anymore. We've aged out of the target demographic, like that 18 to 40 or like mid 40s target demographic. We out of that now by a couple of years. And therefore this is not aimed at us. And that's not a black white thing. It is an age pop culture thing."
Correct. But I agree with you with what you're saying, that there is a segment of the fandom that do follow him very closely.
Oh yeah, and at the same and in a way, it's also because again, I talked to my trainer today, and she is very much in the target demographic. She's in her mid 20s, and she's like, "No, I don't really know." I'm like, "Well, you got to also think like it's not just it also has to do with capturing new people. It's a lot like what WWE did with Saturday Night's Main Event back in the day, and what they still try and do now, where they're trying to capture people who don't necessarily normally watch this by attracting them through like, hey, we got this, we got that, check it out, like see what it's about. We'll even explain things to you. And I'm sure the NFL in some way is like, if we can get Kendrick Lamar, who has sold an ass ton of records, or downloads or whatever it's calling it
whatever
records.
The metric is these days.
Calling it records just shows how fracking old I am. But I mean, here's a guy who's sold a lot of records. People are going to tune in for this.
Yeah.
And the people who are already watching will probably watch. But some people might just tune in for just this. And maybe they'll hang around a little bit. And that's all they're looking for, is to catch a few eyeballs. Because it's like, well, it's not like we're throwing up with people out there. It's not like we're throwing your local bar band out there. We're throwing someone that is like a internationally known artist. It's money well spent for them, and I think that that's part of what the halftime show is, in some of these instances, is you're trying to capture people who aren't going to normally watch the Super Bowl, and they might watch it for this because, I saw a couple memes where they're like, oh, it was so nice of, for him to let for them to let let them play a football game around his concert.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I definitely want to check out more of it. I'd love to listen to it now with headphones on, because the other thing is, like, as I'm watching, I'm like, he's asking me, my buddy's asking me like, what's going on here? I'm like, dude, I don't even know. Like, I'm the wrong person to ask, because I know that I've had a little bit of hearing issues and stuff. And I know that I've had difficulty hearing lyrics the first time since like the 90s. And especially when we get into hip hop lyrics, where people are the speed of the lyrics has picked up over the years. I need the subtitles. I need the headphones to be able to hear it correctly, no matter who it is. So I'm like, I am the wrong person to ask here, where we've got the TV down to like a medium volume and people are talking. Like, there's way too much crap going on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to. I mean, as an artist, I think you put it best. Like it was an artistic statement, and it was someone actually having a vision, and it was kind of cool to watch that get play out in front of me, even though I'm like, I don't know these songs, but I can appreciate like the part of me was just like the technical, like the logistical of putting together of the halftime show is still just a marvel to me, that like you throw this thing together and it works.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I mean, I've heard that people are like, "Oh, wow, no backing tracks." I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like everything has to be a lot of stuff is pre-taped. Very rarely is everything live, because you just can't do that.
Yeah.
But man, just the logistics and the vision that came through there,
good.
I can dig on that, and I can appreciate that no matter what genre it is. Like, dude had a vision and carried it out. So it gets a passing grade in my book for sure.
Game good, halftime good, commercials good. Love the Duncan Kings coming back for year 3.
With Belichick in the background.
I love Belichick in the background. I love Casey Affleck sitting there. It's like, it's just a bunch of beans and water. One thing I love is when the Affleck brothers turn on the Boston Southie accent. You know what I mean? Like, they know how to hit it hard, and it is phenomenal. Hit it had. Love
actually, did you catch Belichick and his child bride?
Yes, I did.
And the T-shirt that she was wearing?
I did not catch the T-shirt she was wearing.
It was a Super Bowl 51 Atlanta Falcons champions shirt.
Very nice. Little nod to the evisceration of the Atlanta, and that was an evisceration of heart, soul, and mind, because they thought they had that lock, stock, and barrel. So,
and the fact that they didn't hire him last year.
Yes.
And wearing all 8, all of his Super Bowl rings.
Oh, yeah.
Because 8. Yeah, he's got 8. Jeez.
Makes you humble.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The other commercial I enjoyed was the When Harry Met Sally throwback for Hellman's Mayonnaise.
Yeah.
That was funny. Good. It's always good to see Billy Crystal, and I thought it was good.
That dude's aging. Oh, my gosh. He's so grandpa right now, but it's cool.
But overall, a good scene Sunday night. By the way, for those interested, the culinary skills that were in effect from the man they call Tim and his lovely bride, air frying everything under the sun. Air fried some skirt steak. Actually, I didn't air fry the hot Italian sausage.
Turbine, like hooked up to your air fryer to cook as much food as you do in there.
Well, we had some boars and cheese filled mushrooms, which are phenomenal. I boiled 2 pounds of hot Italian sausage. Not that I ate it all that night. I'm slowly working my way through it, but I had a couple links of that.
Slowly.
I had some skirt steak. Some salt and vinegar chips. That was not on the diet.
It's a baker's dozen.
It was a baker's dozen. So just a phenomenal night. And I believe, Uncle Todd, you said you had some cheese dip going on over there, huh? So
I hurt myself a little bit there.
Don't you?
So there was a cheese dip at the party I went to. I brought some chili, and then there was various chips and dips, and someone had gotten some tater tots, and of course I love me some tater tots, so I had about a half pound of those. It was. And then because it was my birthday last week, my lovely wife made a chocolate cake with a peanut butter frosting. So of course I had 2.5 pieces of that.
Oh,
so good.
Nice.
Yeah. So nice. I got home and I was like, I am full of food and regret. But it was delightful. Would 10 out of 10 do it again.
Nice.
All right, what else we got time for in the Week in Geek here? We're hurtling towards the 1 hour mark.
The last thing I have, and we don't have to go too deep on this, but prior to the Super Bowl, earlier in the weekend, we had a bloodletting, if you will, of WWE talent. There, unfortunately, with the good comes the not so good, and we had some releases of several superstars who, kind of the common theme here, had kind of run their course, and it was time to apparently move on from the company's perspective. So real quickly, Anderson and Gallows, who were affectionately referred to as the Good Brothers, they unfortunately, I think Anderson was Luke Gallows and not Arn Anderson. What the heck is his name? Carl Anderson. Carl Anderson, I think, was in the middle of recovering from shoulder surgery, I believe. So he was on the mend, but they have been let go. Giovanni Vinci, who unfortunately, man, talk about falling, from a pedestal here. He was paired up with Gunther and with Ludwig Kaiser for the longest time as Imperium. They were kind of repackaging him as this, kind of wealthy playboy character, and then he got squashed in 2 matches on SmackDown and then never heard from
Apollo
again.
Creed.
Yeah.
Who's barely, I don't know how he's still employed.
I don't know. Cedric Alexander, who is the missing link from the Hurt Business.
Yes.
The other 3 members of that faction are in AEW, and so I wonder where he's going to go.
Supposed to be on, will be on AEW.
Yes. Sonya Deville, which is timely because we were talking about Pure Fusion Collection and kind of what's going on with that. And, what was interesting in the article I read was that probably, after 10 years with the company and not really seeing much upside to her character growing, they probably just, decided to, part ways with her.
Well,
so.
if I remember right from the WrestleMania video I saw on this, I think for her, it was just her contract was not renewed. Like, it wasn't like they actually let her go. Like, her contract just came up and they're like, yeah, we're not interested.
Okay.
So,
fair enough. The authors of Pain and Paul Ellering, who were both paired with Karrion Kross as the Final Testament. Apparently, this was the Final Testament on the Final Testament. Yeesh. And then Blair Davenport, who I did not ever really see wrestle. Yep. So that probably says all you need to know. And then this was surprising. Isla Dawn. Now, I say surprising because earlier in 2024, when they were in, I believe it was the France, it was either the France show. No, it wasn't the French show. It was the Scottish show.
Yeah.
So Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, I forget the name of their tag team. I think it was like the Unholy Alliance or something like that.
Yeah.
They won the women's tag team championships in Scotland to much fanfare, and then summarily lost them like 3 months later. But they were like on top of the world, and that to me is kind of the sad part of the business. Is just like you can go from having that, that special moment of your career to it just coming crashing down less than a year later, because there just hasn't been anything done with them since then. And that was kind of my fear, was like once they ran the course with the belts and Cargill and Bianca Belair won them back, what was going to happen with them? I mean, it's like they were tailor made for that win in that location, and then nothing. So unfortunately, we bid these individuals adieu, but hope to see them flourish elsewhere.
I guess. We wish them well in their future endeavors.
And that, my friends, is a neat and tidy week in geek.
Neat and tidy, my ass.
I like a Mussolini.
Almost an hour. All right. Well, we're going to dive into our main event here in a moment, but we're going to call a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back.
Figured as much.
I'm nothing if not consistent.
You are.
A few minutes later.
All right. Main event.
Main event. Here we go. We're going to do some of the rumors that are bandied about the internet right now concerning Captain America 4, Captain America Brave New World. And as usual,
Cap-Am 4.
There we go. As usual with the abbreviations. And for these, we are going to do a little true false, or as we like to call it, the real or jabroni. If it is true, meaning it's definitely going to happen, then that is
He's the red.
And if we believe it's false, that's definitely not going to happen. Then it is
jabroni.
Indeed.
And so, sir, you have been doing the sleuthing, the digging, the construction, the girding of our show's loins, if you will.
Good God Almighty! Man makes another old fashioned and it goes right to his head.
It's not even the old fashioned. I would have said that without anything at all. And
That's fair enough.
But would you like to run these down and how would you like to proceed?
Well, I just want to say this to start. So because we have transitioned now to a leaderboard standings approach to these contests that we adjudicate.
Yes.
You will notice, sir, that I have created 2 extra columns all the way to the right for our points because we are going to We have not tracked points in the past because it's mostly been about who's ahead, because of course whoever is ahead is the one who wins.
Yes.
But we are not going to do that. We are going to tabulate all points earned, and just throw them on the bill. That is.
So we're just doing one for a right answer, I'm guessing.
Well, if we each get the so let's say for something, if we both guess the real and it is the real, we get a point for that.
Okay, yeah.
Hear me out.
All right, yep.
If we guess differently, if I say jabroni, you say the real, and it's the real, you would get 2 points because you are the lone correct guess for that question.
This is already getting way too complicated.
It is not complicated. If it's essentially a tie. Now, if we both get it wrong, we get 0 points. No points if we get it wrong.
Okay. Why do I feel
very
like
easy? Get it wrong, nothing.
The Bandit, where it's like if I say I'm going to channel 9, we ain't going to 9. We going to 12.
If it's wrong, 0 points. If we're tied on the right answer, 1 point. If there's only one person who gets the right answer, 2 points. That's simple. That's simple.
It's that simple, folks. It's that simple.
It is that simple. Oh dear, things are about to get real, folks.
I just want to use that for everything now.
That's phenomenal.
Shut up, Wesley.
Hey, at some point, I asked this a couple episodes ago, and again, this is not me not appreciating what you've done bringing the Raw is War theme here. But if we could at some point bring back the Chips theme to just integrate that in. It is just a piece of work.
I need your DJ here. I'm not taking requests. We're not doing shout outs.
If I had control of the soundboard, I'd do it myself, but I don't. So I have to make the request. So
you listen to Ty ribbon around the old oak tree right now.
All right. Well, anyways, as we ought to do or want to do here, the Real or Jabroni is sourced from several online sources here of all Marvel news. Unfortunately, I did not reference anything from bamsmackpow.com, so Uncle Todd will have to...
what the hell?
Sorry, I tried, but they unfortunately did not offer anything of value to use on this contest. But we do have information from MarvelMovieFandom.com, CBR.com.
Oh, jeez.
ScreenRant.com.
Oh, there's
and then another Screen Rant article from ScreenRant.com. You want to
double up on your affiliate system.
That's right. And then another CBR article, to again double up on the affiliates. All right. So
just the shameless hoeing out of your
all right. This section of rumors we like to call in or out. This is where we talk about what are we going to see, who are we going to see potentially appear in this movie. We have not had a Marvel movie in quite some time, and Captain America Brave New World is fertile soil for potentially some comebacks, some reappearances, some new appearances potentially. We will find out. All right, but nonetheless, are you ready, sir? Are your loins girded? Are you ready to go?
Not really, but hey, let's do this thing anyways.
All right, here we go. Number one of 38, by the way. I just want to mention 38.
Ladies and gentlemen, I tried to keep him to 21. I was like, blackjack. That's all we need.
Nope.
No, he won't listen to me.
We're much like Jalen Hurts. We're going for the long ball. So here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my thing is right now, if you need to, just pause this.
Put it on 1.5 times speed. You can skip through all this like dead air very easily. All right, here we go. Number one, the Incredible Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, will make an appearance.
So how about we do it this way? One of us will start and we'll alternate who goes first. Because
okay, fine.
So do you want to go first, or should I go first on this one?
You go ahead and kick us off.
Okay. I don't believe so, because we saw him zipping off into space, and this doesn't seem to be a very spacey movie. So I don't think we shall in this movie.
When did we see him go into space?
She-Hulk.
Was that She? Okay, so I still haven't seen that whole thing. So
yeah.
So he was headed off into space, eh?
And the thing is, like, I think it would be a little weird for him to show up with Red Hulk when in a Captain America movie where it's like that's supposed to be the showdown. Gotcha. However, I think there will be some assistance down the road.
All right.
What do you got?
I'm going to go Jabroni as well for similar reasons. I think, we have a Red Hulk. Now, I brought this up because the thought was, do we see the Green Hulk versus the Red Hulk? But I think the main event billing is going to go to Red Hulk versus Captain America. And yes, I'm not saying Sam Wilson. I'm saying Captain America, ladies and gentlemen, because he is Captain America.
That is America's ass.
That's right. That's right. By the way, one of our friends who has grown-up kids, one of them is this just very burly son that they have, and I joke, and he loves Marvel. You know, we both bond over Marvel and Star Wars, and whenever I see him, I always we shake hands, and then I give him a slap on the shoulder. I'm like, "How's America's shoulders doing?" So
I was really hoping that you weren't going to go for the exact quote.
I'm saying it's a joke on that. It's just with the shoulders. It's not me.
Get it. I was not
You're
that
turning. Don't do what you do.
Too late. Sorry. It's the way I'm wired.
Good Lord. All right. Here is number 2 for in or out. An Eternal will make an appearance. Now, I say this is an interesting one before I guess.
Okay.
This is an interesting one because it's my turn to go first, right?
Yes, it is. You have
this
the
is
floor.
an interesting one because
and even the area rug if you want it.
We have seen in the trailer that the dead celestial Tiamut, I believe is what the name of that celestial was. The hand is stuck,
It's actually that's Baron von Raschke.
Oh, there we go. Yep. There it is. The Iron Claw. That dead celestial's presence on Earth is going to play and we'll find out in some of the rumors later on, will play a major role in this movie. Ooh. So because of that, will we see an Eternal make an appearance? So my guess, because I'm saying a Eternal, not all of the Eternals, Eternal.
You better have something good because you're building this up.
I'm being clear. I'm going to say the real on this one.
He's the red.
All right.
How about you, sir?
I mean, when you put it that way, it would make sense. However, it seems like there's been a. You know what? I'll go with a real 2. Even though they have been trying to bury this movie as much as possible.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that terrible. I mean, it's not great for sure, but it's passable. It's better than anything DC has done since the first Wonder Woman. Let's put
that's a low bar we're referencing right there, though.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes all you gotta do is step over that mofo. You don't need to jump.
All right, number 3. This is Uncle Todd's guess now. First guess. Number 3, Star-Lord will make an appearance.
Jabroni.
And for reference, Star-Lord is on Earth right now. Just a reminder.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay. I too am going to say Jabroni because, quite honestly, introducing him into this movie would be, it would kind of ruin the I'm definitely getting a what was Captain America 2 called? Not Civil War.
The Winter Soldier.
The Winter Soldier. It's and based on how the trailers kind of set the tone. The tone of the movie doesn't fit the Star-Lord character being a part of it.
No, it's very much a spy thriller.
Yes.
Sort of.
So that's where I don't think we would, even though he's on Earth at this point in time, which is kind of weird when you think about it, right? Like if he knows that Cap's in trouble and stuff like that's the part that I find kind of interesting with all this is we're at a point where all these heroes have history and yet they don't kind of show up to help each other, which is kind of interesting. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 4, Wong will make an appearance.
Number 4 for Bobby Orr, and we're gonna deal with Wong. Tell Wong.
This one and the next one, I got to go Jabroni on this one. I mean, they are on Earth. Wong is on Earth, and by they I mean also. Well, actually, Doctor Strange could be in another dimension at this point. But I'm going to say Jabroni on this one.
I instantly got into Beastie Boys. Intergalactic, where they get another dimension, that was actually really good.
I can't tell you how many times I listened to that song.
Almost as good as Paul Heyman's
or as good as Paul Heyman's
Well,
he said
as good as Paul Heyman's anything. Let's just face it. It's Paul Heyman's world. We're all just living it.
That was when Balor was really good, was when the Judgment Day was a thing and it was him and Priest. So when they broke them up, Balor got the short end of the stick on that one.
Oh, yes, he did. I'm also going, here's the thing, like, Wong is kind of turning into, like, another character like the Incredible Hulk. Like, he just seems to be sprinkled into all of these movies in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to go real on this because I could see where he is the Sorcerer Supreme and you've got some stuff going down.
Yeah.
There might be some interaction there.
I
will probably pay for this
sure.
in the long run. But
well, the next one here, you will give the first pick on. Doctor Strange will make an appearance, number 5.
That's a jabroni. I don't think so because again, it's too many elements coming in.
Yeah. Well, and here's my thing with both Wong and Strange, similar to Star-Lord.
Mm-hmm.
The tone of those characters doesn't fit the story.
Yes.
This feels like a very grounded, more human sort of story. So the fantastical elements, if we see an Eternal, I don't know that the Eternal is going to do it's more just the presence of them, like.
Well, that's where I look with Wong, like just his presence of like maybe giving some information, not coming in to save the day.
Of the two, Wong would be the one that would make the most sense. You're right. All right. Number 6. All right, here we go.
Excuse me.
Watch the wording.
Okay.
One or more of the Thunderbolts will make an appearance. And in parentheses, I have Flo, Bucky, Red Guardian, the Chin, John Walker, a.k.a. U.S. Agent, Taskmaster, or Ghost.
Is this mine first?
I am first on this one. I'm going to go the real on this one.
Really? Okay.
I am.
It would make sense because that is the next movie after this, and it is tied to Thunderbolt Ross. So I'm going to go real as well.
Ah, look at that. Uncle Todd.
Dude, have you seen, like, maybe it's just me. Like, I think Instagram is such a weird thing, man. Mm-hmm. Like, you click on one suggestion, and then all of a sudden, like, that's all of your suggestions. And I think I clicked on, like, one of the Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh back and forth videos or something, and so then my suggested videos then were like all Florence Pugh all the time for like the next 2 weeks.
Oh geez,
I gotta say, like, I really just dig her as a person because she seems like she is just that kind of like awkward-ish person that I'm like, I kind of want to hang with you because you seem like you're a little weird. And you also seem like you're also the person who wouldn't mind telling somebody to go F off if they kind of piss you off. Like, I respect that. You're kind of cool. So, yeah, just for that, I hope Flofo shows up.
Nice. All right. Number 7. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky and interesting. Sharon Carter will make an appearance. We have not seen Sharon Carter since Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And when we did see her, she was now a double agent of some kind.
Yeah, she's the power broker.
She is the power broker.
It's tempting.
Who went first on the last one? Was that me? Yes. So yes. You were going first here.
It's tempting because I could see that character working. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm going to go the real on this one.
Damn it.
Because I think that this would work, and I think it would then, if she appears here, it does help. Because I'm trying to think in context. Like, we know we're seeing Thunderbolt Ross here. We know the Thunderbolts is coming up. So some stuff in this flick has to be setting up that next one. And I was tempted to think that, no, they're going to save her for the next movie. But it's like, you got to have some sort of catalyst, and her position in the MCU is kind of like the person, like the almost Red from Shawshank, except in a more global way and devious way. It would seem to me that would work a little bit better. I don't think it'll be a prominent part of the plot, but I think that she could be involved for sure.
Okay.
And you?
All right, number 8.
Wait, did you, for the record, state what yours is?
Oh, sorry. Mine is this is the one I was hoping to get one over on you on. I was hoping you were going to say jabroni. Because I am going the real on this as well. I
can see you setting little traps for me here and there.
Tonally, I thought, I'm thinking
tonal again. Okay.
Well, you know,
you and your
tone
toenails. I don't
tone
understand what
is
you're
the
so
theme.
about here.
Tone Loc. Wild thing.
Down. I was always a Funky Cole Medina.
Oh, Funky Cole Medina is
Actually,
good
I've
too.
got Funky Cole Medina on 45.
Nice. Throw it on. Why not?
That's how old school I am.
Crank it up, even if it, ticks off
And
your
this is the
daughter
thing,
and your wife.
like I was talking about with like the rap lyrics, as they sped up, like and in general, like other lyrics too, as they speed up. Like I've had a hard time hearing, like back in the 80s, like early 90s, like back when it was, rap lyrics were much slower or shouted. Like, yeah, I could hear them then. And now, not so much.
Not so
but
much.
then again, like, there's a bunch of lyrics I go to listen to songs to now where I'm like,
What's that? What'd you say, Sonny?
I need to look that up on the Google.
Oh my God. All right. Number 8, Peter Parker will make an appearance. So this is interesting, because he is on Earth.
Yes.
He is in this universe. But I do not think we are going to get Peter Parker in this. It just doesn't feel like the time to bring Spider-Man in.
No, Jabroni as well.
Damn it.
Because nobody knows who he is.
Hoping I trap you on that.
It'd be a very weird place to bring him in, because then you have to, there's a lot of exposition involved.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. All right, number 9. War Machine, Rhodey, will make an appearance.
Is this me
This is
first?
tough.
I'm going to go real on this one.
Ooh.
Because again, like his character plays into the structure of this.
He does.
This was a trap, wasn't it? You were trying to get me. You're gonna go different.
I'm gonna go Jabroni on you.
Yeah, baby, go on.
I'm gonna go about 2 points now on you.
Oh, jeez, yeah, okay.
All right, number 10. The Punisher will make an appearance. I'm gonna go Jabroni on this one.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy Jabroni for me as well. Like they're saving this for Daredevil, and they should. And I am so fracking looking forward to John Barenthal's Punisher coming back, and not only coming back, but coming back in a way like unshackled. Like he was. I mean, you watched the season 1 of the Punisher, and it was pretty. There was some moments where it was like, okay, we're getting after it, but they never quite committed. And now that we have Deadpool in the MCU and we've seen some other stuff, it's like this character is going to be unleashed in a way that is hitherto unseen in other movies outside of Deadpool. Because it's
okay, Doctor Strange, hitherto.
Well, with much ballyhoo aforementioned. It's kind of more Chucky than Doctor Strange.
By the way, we haven't done a Week in Geek since September of 2024. I'm just dropping some trivia.
We haven't done a what?
We haven't done a Reel and Jabroni.
Oh, okay. You said Week in Geek just a second
did I
ago.
say? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say Week in Geek.
You
sorry,
did.
Reel,
You completely confused me because I'm like, we just did one a little while ago.
Reel and Jabroni is what I meant. We haven't done one.
I thought maybe you need to be checked for stroke symptoms or something.
I don't know. You're the one with the bubbles with the thumbs up.
Because I did this, and
thought
I was hitchhiking, but it thought I was giving a thumbs up.
Caitlin's Comedy Corner. Here we go.
So, scratching. You okay there? Okay, you looking for some stigmata or something? Everything okay? Okay. So what do we have for Kaylin's Comedy Corner this week? You didn't play yourself in, so I'm guessing there's no kazoo.
I'm angry.
I got a growl.
I was just going to say, is that a growl?
Okay, she's distraught, so, I mean, what's going on here, camper? Spill it.
I don't have Comedy Corner, so I'm sorry. I apologize. But Stray Kids was live. I got on it, and I was on it for a good 2 seconds before Mom beckoned me upstairs. And I didn't see anything else of it.
So where was this live?
On Instagram.
I'm sure that will.
I saw the other ones because of the stinking time zone.
I mean, Korea is quite a few time zones away from here.
It is.
So it all happens in the middle of the night. And it's like a notification in the morning, like, "Oh, Stray Kids went live." Like, "Oh, gee, thanks."
But I mean, don't they cut this stuff up and throw it on in chunks? I mean, they've got to, right?
They don't record their lives. People try and record the lives, and then some people try and translate it, but it's a pain when you're not Korean and you don't know Korean. So you're basically
That would put a crimp in the plans.
So basically, I'm just sitting there on the live the entire time, just being like, I have no idea what you're saying, but I bet it's really interesting.
Hell, you could just listen to our show. You wouldn't know most of what we're talking about, and it'd be the same
Fair
sort
enough.
of effect.
Fair enough.
Remember that I'm paying for your college as well.
I'm mainly watching Stray Kids because they're Stray Kids, and you're you, and they have visual appeal.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad you could be here for the last Kalen's Comedy Corner. It's been a great ride. It really has, and we've all enjoyed it so much.
Indeed, we have.
The look I'm getting right now is great. It's great. I hate to tell you, you're not scaring me.
Ask her.
I've lived with your mother for 20 years. You ain't scaring me.
Ask her if. How are things going with the poetry?
So how did the poetry thing go? Tim wants to know.
It went really well. My teacher really liked it. Was a good presentation. It's the first one I had to do for like a couple years because they don't make us do presentations in high school.
Nice.
So yeah.
I'm just realizing you haven't let me read the poems that you had to write in my style.
You haven't asked.
Ho! The smoting continues. Hey.
May I?
I don't know if I want to now.
Oh, jeez. Well, could you ask her? Was there any?
Sorry. Proceed.
I was just gonna say, was there any concern from the teacher on needing to commit you or take you to the local jail?
Oh, did Tim wants to know was the teacher concerned that I needed to be committed or taken into custody?
Got to think about this one.
I don't think so. But he also is reading your poetry, so I gave him 2 of your books, so there is a high chance.
Well, there's a chance he's going to want an extra parent-teacher conference.
Probably. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the popo to come crashing through your door back there.
The home is safe, and that I'm not living with a psych ward patient. No, 2 actually. He probably want to make sure that I'm not living with 2 psych ward patients.
All right.
Just tell him the cat's in charge and everything will be fine.
Sure, he'll totally believe that.
Probably. Anyways, anything you'd like to add?
He doesn't get paid enough to believe it anyway, so it's
true. Very true. Do you have any thoughts on the upcoming Captain America 4 movie, Captain America: Brave New World?
I am so glad you asked. So hold on, I'll just take this right now.
No, if you're gonna do it, just go ahead.
Hello.
Hi.
So, what are your thoughts on Captain America 4? Oh, jeez, where's he going?
I don't know.
Oh, good Lord.
I swear it's like living with a child.
Oh, it's phenomenal. What are you looking forward to? Or what do you think is going to happen?
I'm honestly looking forward to Sam's hero arc. I kind of like the idea that he's going to be in the spotlight and that there'll be more surrounding his character.
Yeah.
I'm a little angry that we're not getting like another season of Falcon Winter Soldier because I felt like that would have gone really well.
I'm not laughing at you. Your father is. Kalen, it looks like you've deposed him of his co-hosting duties.
He could use to be humbled, so it's fine.
Oh, that's hysterical. Oh my gosh. All right. So looking forward to seeing the Sam Wilson character focused on a bit more. What else? What else are you looking forward to?
I'm a little concerned mainly with just the whole Red Hulk storyline because a lot of the new Marvel movies I have like varying opinions on because they've been not the highest quality, but I'm guessing from what I've heard that this one's based off of more of the comics too.
Yeah.
I haven't read a lot of the comics, so I can't really have a full opinion on that, but from what I've seen, it looks like it could be a really good story arc for him, and it could definitely bring to light some different themes that are like not entirely discovered in a lot of other Marvel movies so far. So it could be a really good movie, and I really hope that they develop it in a way where it can be like beloved and actually like admired.
Yeah. Do you think this movie will tie into the Thunderbolts? Because that is the next movie after this one.
My immediate answer is no, but honestly, if they do, that would be kind of cool. And I am really excited for that. I'm so excited for Thunderbolts.
That one's going to be a fun one. Yeah. Do you want to just keep hosting and tell your dad to go to bed? Or
Tim says you should go to bed. He says you need to mind your own business.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
He's older than I am.
He is?
He is.
What do you say?
He says you're older than him.
I think I am, but not by much.
I think he's aging better than you, though.
Oh, ba-bam!
You want to take over?
No.
Because I feel like my life's in danger.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. You can run the rest of the show if you want.
Uncle Todd has abdicated the throne.
I have a half day, so it's fine.
Which half? It's the morning half. All right.
Well, it was very nice talking to you about Captain America 4, and do enjoy, and we'll have to have you give your thoughts once you see it with your parents or your friends. I don't know what you're doing.
Thanks, Tim.
All right. See ya.
I've got you tangled here.
Here, I'll help.
Do that. Do this. I'm probably... I've still got it crossed. What can I say? I wish I was a superhero. I'm not. I'm a supervillain, and I'm called the Tangler.
She had some... all
right, hang on. Just repeat what you just said.
I don't think you have the intelligence to be a supervillain. That it requires a lot of intellect.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
There's no way.
Here we go.
There's no way. Anyways. All right.
You're not going to finish that?
Nope. All right. Time for bed, right? Okay. You've already got your 18 layers on, so you'll be nice and warm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You already got a feature on the show. Why do you got to go like this now? Like, what else are you going to add?
I just want to say something to you. It doesn't have to be on the podcast.
Oh, it doesn't have to be on the podcast. Good, because I've already got the mic set up here. What is it?
I'm just saying.
You're just saying.
Well, I did find a little lore.
A little lore.
While I was searching through the honeycombs of the internet.
About?
Voice, I'm sorry.
Everyone's trying to take this show away from me. Like, everyone's just trying to bite that. Tim's taking over the first part. Kalen's taking over the middle part. I got nothing left.
What have I done?
Enough with you. Hang on a minute. One at a time. All right. We can geek. The MMA fighter, okay.
And he's apparently obsessed with a number of those stray kids.
Oh, well, good for him.
I know, it made me laugh when I figured it out. Now they had dating rumors, and it's hilarious. It's wild.
Huh. All right. Well, good enough. But you need to go to bed because it is now 10:20 and you're listening to Perspectives.
Perspectives.
I know, but it's nice though. Well, you've got 10 layers on, so go to bed. You'll be warm there. Good night. Sweet dreams. Love you.
Love you too.
Oh, that was convincing.
Love you too on your timely death.
Oh, what? What? She said, love you too in your untimely death.
Oh, my.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's going to happen eventually. So, wow, that went off the rails quick.
She had some very interesting insights on Captain America 4.
She did. No,
It was hard to pay attention, though, seeing that you were reading some sort of novel in the background.
Well, I just like to,
all that's missing is the fire, running in your fire pit over there, your fireplace.
It's out now.
I know.
I did time it correctly this time. It's nice and warm in here, but not like, crotchpot cooking warm. All right. Let's at least get to the end of this segment, shall we?
I'm trying.
Oh my gosh.
What?
It's not my fault.
It is your fault.
No light speed. It's not my fault.
All right.
Anyways.
So number 11, She-Hulk will make an appearance.
Which one is this? Is this me or you?
This is you. You are the odd numbered ones.
I am because they've already signaled this character is dead and in the grave, which is unfortunate. I think.
Oh, have they really?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate because I think there was some nonsense associated with this character. But I think I think you got to have fun. I think it would have found its place. But anyway, she would have found her place. I was speaking of the show in general, but also like the character itself would have found its place. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to find who is the actor who played her.
I forget.
Or sorry, the actress.
It's kind of like interchangeable now. I think a lot of actresses.
Okay, so Tatiana Maslany is her name.
I thought she did excellent. I enjoyed She-Hulk, and
This is what drives me nuts about her is that not her like she's done something, but like I first saw her in Orphan Black, and I didn't watch the entirety of that series. She's phenomenal in that story, and that story is about basically a woman who starts to see essentially herself, on the street, like what the hell, ends up finding out she's part of some like military science experiment where they essentially clone her.
Ooh.
And there's all these different versions of her, and she plays all these different versions of her and does them with, just does it very well. And
that's
so
tough. Yeah.
But it was a series that wasn't highly regarded, even though her acting was phenomenal because she had to play like 8 different parts, per episode.
Yeah.
So to hear that, this has happened with She-Hulk is kind of in the same vein as that. It's like, I haven't seen She-Hulk, but I mean, I didn't hear it was awful.
Well, if you get a chance over like over a couple weeks where you have a couple blocks of time, like if you get snowed in or something.
Hey, that's tomorrow, baby. We're getting snowed in tomorrow.
Yeah, we're supposed to get it on Thursday, so it's heading this way.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun watch, and for some of the cringy parts, like, yeah, that happens, I thought she did very well.
Yeah.
But, obviously I was in the minority.
Well, I'm going to go with you on a jabroni on that one as well.
All right. So here we are. We're at
number 12.
12.
Oh, number 12. A mutant will be part of the story.
And this is you go first here, right?
I am, and I will, and I'm going to say, and I want to be very clear here. We're not calling Red Hulk a mutant. This is a introduction to the X-Men through this movie. I'm going to go the real on this one.
I would agree. I think this is the start of kind of that because the tale of the X-Men and mutants in general is really a tale of, the difference of people and it becoming outlawed and sentinels and seeking them out and all this. I think this would be an interesting flashpoint, and I think it will be. I don't think it'll be the central theme of this movie.
No,
but I think it'll be hinted at. I mean, because we've already crap.
It gives different meaning to the phrase "Brave New World."
Yes, true. But haven't we already seen a mutant or talked about mutation? It was in Doctor Strange 2. We had mention of a mutant.
Well, in a multiverse.
Yes, but I mean, I thought there was mention of
not in the core universe that we're
true. But I thought there was a it wasn't like a specific character, but it was mention of mutation for the first time. So it's already been bridged in a very subtle way. So I think this is the next step. It would be to bring this in because this would fit in very well. So I'm going to go real on this. I think this is a way that this would start coming in a political way because it is a very political story that ends up playing out.
Well, and the fact that, Tiamat, the dead celestial, will be the source of adamantium, which we'll get to, may play into that a little bit because will we start to get this, MCU universe's version of Wolverine.
Well, yeah, at least the 616 version, the
Earth the 616 version. Yeah,
because we've already had. I mean, we got Wolvie in Deadpool and Wolverine, and oh my gosh, so good. But anyways,
I just hope it's what's his face, the guy who played Superman,
Henry Cavill.
Cavalry with the mutton chops. Come on now.
That was fan-freaking-tastic.
And the stogie.
Well, the thing is, okay, what? Hang on a second, Henry. Oh my gosh, I can't type when it's elevated like this. Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Height. Henry Cavill's 6'1". Wolverine is like 5'7", 5'6". There's got to be someone out there.
Got to make adjustments.
Feige, call me. 5'8" ish. I'm willing to go on the all chicken diet and just chicken and rice. That's
no skirt steak. All right. Number 13, the Dancing King, known as Helmut Zemo, will make an appearance.
# release the Zemo cut. Is this me or you?
You are giving the initial pick on this one. I'm even, you're odd. So we are an odd number. Helmut Zemo.
I feel like if we got Sharon Carter appearing, Helmut Zemo is one too many. You know what I mean? Like it's a hat on a hat, as Uncle Corny would say. Because you
had to go to the hardware.
You have to give each of those characters a little bit of real estate, and you're trying to do this thing. I'm going to go Jabroni.
All right. I think I'm going to go the same. And for similar reasons. I think there's probably a higher percentage chance we'll see Sharon Carter in this movie than we will Helmut Zemo. Mm-hmm. If only because that we'll have a different set of villains that they'll be battling.
See.
And although it is a open question, where is Helmut Zemo? Number 14.
Where in the world is Helmut Zemo?
Number 14, Wakanda.
90s kids are going to get that.
Wakanda will be a setting in the film. I'm going to go the real on this one.
Really?
Now, again, what we're talking about is in the film, there could be a, Captain America goes to Wakanda for a reason, and it may just be a quick little visit, but Wakanda is a part of the film. I'm going to say the real. What do you say, sir? You going to man up?
Jabroni!
Oh, really?
Yeah, baby.
All right. And kind of along those lines, number 15, Black Panther will make an appearance. Real or jabroni?
Jabroni!
Oh, he's going jabroni on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I were to be consistent, I should say the real on this, because who else would Captain America be visiting if not for Black Panther? However,
you aren't consistent because you're a wishy-washy mofo.
I think Captain America will go to Wakanda, find out that Black Panther's on vacation, in the Bahamas and have to travel over there. It could happen. You don't know.
I literally cannot deal with you. Next.
Come on now.
You've made me go full blown white chick. Like I just can't.
Oh,
I can't even.
God.
I can't
Good
even.
God. All right, number 16. Kate Bishop will make an appearance. Do you remember Kate Bishop?
I do, as a matter of fact. Thank you for asking.
All right. For this one, so this is my first pick. This is hard because she and our next one here on Hawkeye, they will both be, of course, on Earth, in this time, in this setting.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, are like, when does it become overload? And as much as it pains me, I'm gonna have to go jabroni on this one.
Are we getting a Hawkeye season 2? I thought I remembered that.
I thought we were, but I'm not hearing much about it.
Let's see. I'm just going to look this up.
Check bamsmackpow.com. They are a...
So according to Reddit 2 months ago, it reportedly happening.
All right.
Supposed to start filming in fall of 2025.
Oh, remember we did a Week in Geek on this, and they're going to like introduce like his brother Bart or something like that, because Jeremy Renner, Bart Barton, who apparently is a comic character.
God, of course, because he is.
But, and again, I'm not trying to make, this isn't meant to make light of Jeremy Renner's situation, but I think, he probably can't quite do what he could do before because of the injuries he suffered.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was they would introduce his brother to maybe do more of the action scenes than what he can do.
Maybe. I don't know. I think they'll just end up being like he becomes the mentor.
Yes.
And you let Kate do that because that makes a lot more sense. According to IMDb and Game Rant, according to IMDb, it has reportedly been greenlit. So I'm going to go jabroni on this as well.
Okay.
And we're going to get into number 17 here, which is Hawkeye will make an appearance. I'm going to go jabroni on that one because it just ties together. I think it's a hat on a hat.
I will be consistent
for once
and say jabroni. All right, number 18, Ironheart will make an appearance. This is a tough one. This is a tough one.
Kind of see, but at the same time,
is it overload?
I think it's overload. I'm going to go jabroni on this one.
Well, wait a minute. This is my first pick. What are you doing, dude? Come on now. Respect, please. I'm just saying, you made a big deal about who goes first, so I'm just trying. Yeah, you can't see me. My time is now. All right. So for Ironheart, I'm going to say
the clearing of the throat.
I did. I had to clear the throat for a moment. It is. I'm going to go the jabroni on this one. And I think you said jabroni as well.
I'm actually thinking of changing my mind on this one.
You should. What?
I feel like I've been all of a sudden playing 5D chess on me. Oh wait, you should.
It's like Data from the Next Generation. I'll play 3-dimensional chess with you, but I'm just going to play it to just not let you win.
Yeah. So the weird thing is, like, I just had this thought after I said I wouldn't do it, but it wouldn't. Like feeling like there's some sort of tie into Stark Tech.
Okay.
And using this as a way to then kind of almost be a reminder of like, hey, Ironheart is coming down the road. But yeah, jabroni. It's going to be a hat on a hat, I think. As much as I want to say
for this episode is a hat on a hat. As quoted by Uncle Todd.
Uncle Corny. He's the man of eloquence.
He is. Number 19, and you, sir, are doing the first pick on this one. Emil Blonsky, also known as not Armageddon, what the hell is his name? Abomination.
Yes.
Will make an appearance.
He's the red.
Ooh.
I don't necessarily think we're going to get an Abomination versus Red Hulk showdown necessarily, but I think there will be a consult, if you will, because I believe he's still, if not under, I don't believe he's still jailed, as in She-Hulk,
Mhm.
but I think he's still under observation. So he would be the logical person to go to when it's like, hey, Banner's off planet, and yeah, what's this whole thing mean? Emil, you want to help us out here a little?
I'm going to go jabroni on this one.
Okay. Understood.
Go jabroni.
Could be.
Not going to happen. Eternal, we'll get. Not this time.
All right.
Not with Emil Blonsky. He's too undercard to appear in this movie.
Shut up, Wesley.
All right. That concludes our in or out segment. We now move on to what's up with that.
Oh, and if we're going to do that, now that we're at a convenient breaking point, I'm going to take another timeout.
Oh, good God.
Hey,
Why didn't you take a Constitution while you were reading the book?
I'm very well hydrated.
Well,
okay.
That's one way of putting it. Oh, good stuff.
6.5 hours later.
The temperature difference in the house is remarkable.
Yeah.
All
like
right.
An oven in your room there, or what?
No, it's cozy. The rest of the house is a little bit less so. All right. So we are now at the next section, sir, which is
what's up with that? Ooh wee. What's up with that? What's up with that? This is rumors about the what will the story be? What will the story be?
What will it be?
So number 20, I am going first on the even numbered ones here. So number 20, part of the story will involve the X program and experimenting with mutants. I'm going to go with the real.
I will second that, because if we're going to have mention of mutants and we're going to, I think this is a logical place to do it.
You're supposed to say jabroni on this one.
Well, I like to disappoint. Next.
Number 21. The leader, as played by Tim Blake Nelson. This is the actor who appeared in the Edward Norton Incredible Hulk. He will be a presence and seeking vengeance on Bruce Banner throughout events in the movie. Real or jabroni?
Man, this is tempting to bite on, because it would be a bit more of that connective tissue. However, I feel like if we're going to exclude Bruce Banner from this, that this is going to get saved for down the line. I think there could be I think there could be some allusions to the leader character. I don't think it's going to happen in this movie. I'm going to go jabroni.
All right.
And you, sir? Et vous?
You know what? I'm going to go the real.
I thought you froze on that one for a minute.
No, I was thinking I'm going to go the real, and here's why. So we may not see the Hulk in the movie, but maybe Red Hulk is the unveiling of the vengeance of the leader on Bruce Banner.
I mean, could be.
He doesn't face off against Bruce Banner.
Yeah. I just feel like it's
if he blames him for his transformation, if he blames him for his situation, it could be the motivating factor behind this.
That's why I feel like it's more alluding to rather than actually revealing the character. And it would, I mean, if you're saying he's seeking vengeance, the character has to be revealed. There has to be a presence beyond like a shadowy, like,
so,
oh.
If he appears in the movie and he says, all of this is in service of my vengeance on the Hulk, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, totally. I mean, you've earned it at that point. I mean, my God, how would you not have?
Number 22. The discovery of adamantium from the dead celestial Tiamat will lead to the start of Project X. I am going to say the real.
Wait a minute. What? Didn't you go first in the last one?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yep, you're right.
You went first.
Odds and evens. Getting confused. It's kind of math-like.
Uncle Todd and the maths don't go together.
Oh, nope. So you're going real on this one?
I am.
I just don't know that it's going to be, again, like, how much can you pack into one movie? And yes, in a fanboy sort of way, like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Because the thing is, like, well, actually, if I remember right, was Project X Canadian? No.
I don't remember.
Anyways, I'm going to go jabroni.
As you should.
So what you got in this next one, Bright Boy? Because you kind of painted yourself into a corner.
Events of the story lead to establishing the MCU's Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
You are choosing first on this one.
Oh, yeah? Well, the weird thing to this is, like, the way that you got this phrased, events of the story lead to establishing.
Mm-hmm.
This could be yes, this whole thing does set this up, but it doesn't set it up in a way that, like, yes, at the end of this movie, you'll be like, we're getting Wolverine. It might need to be like through this movie that then you're like, afterwards you're like, oh yeah, that totally set it up. I'm saying it wouldn't be a rubber stamp lead pipe cinch that, like, they're going to say, and hey, by the way, because of this thing, Wolverine takes place. Like, it might be like, yeah, these things set into place, and then da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Because I think that this will. I think the idea that mutants will, but I don't know that you can judge it solely on this movie. That's why I kind of feel like this one is not necessarily, this would be a great thing for, like, phase whatever we're in, not necessarily for one movie. You know what I mean?
I'm waiting for your pick.
Oh my gosh, you've got some sort of inside info on this, and you're trying to.
I don't. I'm just waiting for your pick. You can explain it to the nth degree, but is it real or is it jabroni? Talk to me, Sheiky. Come on now.
Listen, Bubba. Let's go with real on this one. Fine. F it. Whatever.
Very nice.
Look at you. Very nice. It's like I feel like I'm playing real and jabroni with Jabba. Oh God! Oh God!
Solo. All right, I'm gonna go jabroni on this one.
A little friend over there.
What are you saying? I have Brutus Creed over in the corner here doing the cackle.
No, Brutus Creed wishes he had the Salacious Crumb cackle.
Good
he
Lord.
Wishes.
He does. He doesn't belong on the main roster. He looks like some ham and egger from, like, Scranton, Pennsylvania, who, is trying to be a wrestler but can't.
What do you got against Scranton, Pennsylvania? All of a
I
sudden?
don't know. I picked a place. I picked a place.
Jeez. Okay,
I don't like Brutus. I don't like Brutus.
No, you don't.
All right, number 24.
Uh-huh.
The Eternals are tied into the story due to Tiamat's hand sticking out of the ocean.
So again, this one I feel like is not. Well, I mean, in a way, yes. I mean, and it's always going to be yes, because that was the movie that was revealed in. Like, this is in a way, like, this is a free square, right? Like, this is totally real because they are tied into, and we could make that argument and litigate that till the cows come home.
They could appear or they could not appear. Maybe,
but the way you have it phrased here, it's not that they appear. It's the Eternals are tied into the story due to Tiamat's hand sticking out of the ocean. So yes, by virtue of the fact that, like, the dude's hand is sticking out of the ocean, and that happened in that movie, yes, they are tied into it. This is a freebie.
I would like you to try to write some of these when there's no rumors to go off.
I'm just saying, it's the real. It's a free one for both of us. There you go.
This was the one I was supposed to pick first, and you took away my thunder. I'm going the real as well.
Sorry, I didn't. I keep getting the odds and even screwed up.
My God, I'm not asking you to do addition and subtraction. It's just watch the number. Is it odd or is it even? You odd, me even.
I know. Well, I mean, yes, and I am odd, so I should be getting it on 2 counts, and I'm not.
Amen on that.
I'm sorry.
25. The Red Hulk revelation will lead to Thunderbolt Ross resigning as president. Real or jabroni? Well,
I mean, in the MCU, maybe, but in the real life, nothing is going to make you resign from being president because everyone's qualified now. I'm going to go real on this because I think this will then set up. I think it'll set up Thunderbolts.
All right. I'm going to go jabroni.
Okay, you can do that.
Number 26, Isaiah Bradley's attack on the president will be part of the leader's larger plan.
And
real
you
or jabroni?
This is yours, right?
It is. I'm going to say the real.
He's the red.
Boo. It's hoping to trick you on this one. Number 27, Captain America will defeat Red Hulk. Or could it be they fight to a tie with no one actually being the victor? They simply wear each other out and are, it's a stalemate. What say you, sir?
The red.
Oh my!
I ain't giving you that one. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with real.
Of course you are.
Number 28. Part of the story reveals how Stark's tech has been integrated into the military and the world. This was an interesting rumor I read that, not that it's, going to be true, of course. It is merely a rumor, but the idea being that possibly one of the things we see through the story is, since Tony Stark's death, is how Stark's technology has been brought further integrated into the world. The evidence of this, supposedly from the trailer, is that when I believe there's a scene when a missile is flying toward an aircraft carrier, and the burn of the missile does not appear as a flame, but rather as it looks like an arc reactor sort of.
Like a repulsor.
Like a repulsor. Mm-hmm. And so the thought is Stark technology now, just more integrated into, what the military is using since his passing.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
That is a deep cut. So this is me. I'm going to go jabroni on this one. What say you, sir?
Well, I mean, if we've learned one thing from the 90s and the early 2000s is that the first cut is the deepest. So
he's the red.
All right.
I'm taking some chances here. I've got a whole year to play out. We're going to play the long game here.
All right. The last one for What's Up With That, number 29, the leader is the trigger or triggers the Red Hulk transformation.
Jabroni.
Oh my. I'm going to go the real on this one. I think the leader, the hidden villain, is going to be the cause of all of this.
I kind of like this whole year-long leaderboard because we're both taking some chances here. It's exciting. I feel like Scotty in the first Star Trek movie. It's exciting.
Rather than us riding the razor's edge of, am I going to win a bottle or am I going to lose a bottle?
Because, this bourbon at stake, this is some serious stuff here.
Yeah. All right, our final section, our last 8 rumors here. When the man comes around, this is dealing with the eventuality of some of our characters and the potential endings or post-credit scenes of the movie. Danny Ramirez, who apparently is taking up the mantle of the Falcon, since Sam Wilson is now Captain America, will be killed in the movie. He was a character in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm going to go the real on this one.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. Somebody got to die. Somebody's gonna have to make the sacrifice to really
got to have some stakes, and they're not strip steaks. So, just saying, or skirt steaks. Sorry.
Damn it! Now I'm hungry.
All right, number 31. Isaiah Bradley is killed. Is this movie where Isaiah Bradley meets his end?
It's tempting as well. I don't think so, though.
So is that a jabroni?
I'm going to go jabroni on this one.
Ha-ha! I'm going to go the real.
You go right ahead.
I think he's going to be offed by some assassin. Possibly Michael... No, not Michael. What the heck's his name?
I don't know.
Who's playing... Hold on.
I feel like this is one of the conversations with my wife where all of a sudden she'd be like, and that thing. I'm like, are you just trying to gaslight me into thinking I've had a stroke? Because I feel like I just missed half a conversation.
Let me see.
Until I realized I do
I'm
the
sorry,
exact
not
same
Michael.
thing.
Michael. I'm sorry. Giancarlo Esposito, who is going to play a role in this movie. I wonder if he will be the assassin for Isaiah Bradley. We will see. All right, number 32. Captain America will have reformed the Avengers by the end of the film. I'm going to say jabroni.
I agree.
Okay. Reason?
I just don't. I think he's going to be a little busy.
All right.
I think he's going to be pretty damn busy in this movie to form. Calls.
There's a part in the trailer where Thunderbolt Ross asks him to reform it.
Yes, totally. And they even had a separate clip where they like carried through that whole conversation. I just think that like there's going to be a lot of stuff going on here.
All right.
And I feel like it's it's very much that Bull Durham moment where everybody's at the mound and Robert Wool comes out. He's like, we're dealing with a lot of shit here. Like, I feel like that's where it's at. It's like, I ain't got time to reform the Avengers. I've got a lot of stuff going on here that I need to take care of before I start trying to figure out which dimension Thor's in and which galaxy this guy's in and where they are. And, oh, wait, that person's dead. I think jabroni.
All right. Very nice. Let me see.
33.
Yes, 33.
Larry Bird.
Cap refuses to reform the Avengers, leading Ross to ask... Oh, I guess I didn't change the... let's see. To ask Valentina Allegra de Fontaine to form the Thunderbolts. Real or jabroni?
What a fracking great name for that character.
Indeed.
And I know it's not like I'm sure it's from the comics, but just what a great, like, making sure that you have to like use the entire name and then giving this to the actor who is portraying this, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who is like, again, it's not, you can't just say Julia Dreyfus. No, you have to say Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It's the whole thing. And someone who can kind of carry that of like, no, use my entire name. So I'm going to go on this one for sure.
Really?
Yes.
Ah.
This is how this movie begats the Thunderbolts. Has to be, right?
Funny, because number 30, I'm going to go the real on this one as well, because number 34, events of this movie will have a direct tie-in to the start of the Thunderbolts movie. Real or jabroni? I'm going to go the real.
I was going to say, like, yes. And I will go as well.
So here's an interesting one. Number 35, Namor, the Submariner, will declare war on the surface world due to the presence of adamantium. The rumor behind this is, and I know this seems kind of random out of nowhere, but
kind of, yeah.
It was established in the last Black Panther movie that Namor would, stay under and not mess with the surface world. As long as their security is, guaranteed. With the presence of adamantium, not that it is stronger than vibranium, but it could be perceived as a threat, and therefore we may see Namor take action on what is now a new material that was not in the equation when he made the original peace with the new Black Panther. What say you, sir? You are the first one to guess on this one.
Jabroni!
My reasoning is it's just too much explanation. Like, yeah, it's a great little internet theory and it's a great fanboy theory.
Could be a post-credit scene.
Fanboy, fangirl theory. It's just too much.
You think?
Yeah, because I
You sure?
Yes, I am. As a matter
Positive?
of fact. And what are you going with?
I'm going to go jabroni as well.
I thought so.
But I tried.
Hell.
Number 36. This is kind of a long shot one as well. The end of the movie sets up the World War Hulk storyline. So I don't know what this storyline is exactly, but I have, from my light reading I did on Sunday afternoon, it is apparently one of the better storylines that Marvel had created. And the thought was that it would be interesting and exciting that this movie would set that up with the presence of Red Hulk. However, much like your explanation of number 35, I think it's a bit much. So I'm going to say jabroni.
If anything, I would say Thunderbolts might set this up.
Could
Because
be.
if you have Ross in there, you have all these, and then not necessarily that would be a plot point, but this could be an after credits or mid credits scene of Thunderbolt Ross coming back, and then having this interplay that then sets up down the line. Because then, I mean, you've got X-Men coming, you've got Secret Wars, you got Doomsday, you got all these things coming, and then because World War Hulk would have to be a gigantic, kind of spectacular.
And apparently, now that it's coming back to me, the World War Hulk storyline is I think Hulk comes back to Earth, but wages war against the Earth.
Yeah.
And shows how devastating he can actually be. But that feels a little much for the MCU.
Well, not necessarily of the MCU, but the MCU is presently constituted.
Yes.
And we already know, like, that ain't on the release schedule. So it's not like you're going to set that up now and then be like, oh, yeah, and well, in 2028.
Yeah.
Like, no. I think it could. I think it could be cool, but you need to have some other things in play.
Yes.
And
answer?
That would be jabroni. Yeah.
All right. Number 37. This is your last one to be the initial pick on. A foreboding post-credit scene introduces Victor Von Doom. Would be kind of cool.
It would, but it feels a little soon because that's not coming for a while. I feel like that's much more likely to come. So we got Thunderbolts coming after this. I feel like that's much more likely to come for Fantastic Four because Dr. Doom is very much a Fantastic Four Rogues Gallery villain. And I believe that's where he originated from. So that would seem to me to be much more of this is where we get the dime dropped on Dr. Doom. So yeah, jabroni.
I'm going to go the real.
Oh, look at you taking a chance. Good for you.
Last one, number 38. The movie will have a connection to Fantastic Four First Steps. I almost said Fantastic Four Baby Steps. I'll admit it. I'm going to go jabroni.
Yeah, I agree. I think Fantastic Four it kind of has to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And if there is any kind of reference to it, it's going to be so vague that we could litigate that into the ground.
I have read that one potential rumor for the universe of Fantastic Four could be a direct result of Steve Rogers going back in time and creating an alternate timeline.
Yeah, because that would definitely cause a branch in the sacred timeline.
That has not been explained, and that was a hole for me in Avengers Endgame. Is how the hell does he end up back to give Sam the shield when he essentially went and created an alternate timeline?
Yeah.
So this may be a loop that they close through Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, because we may end up finding out that Cap inadvertently caused an issue, and now that issue is going to rear its ugly head. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our picks for the Real or Jabroni. We will adjudicate said picks. I don't know. Maybe next episode. Maybe the episode after that. I don't know.
We'll see. Depends on when I have a chance to go watch.
Sound the alarm and unleash the dogs of war. Indeed.
My head hurts. All right, enough of that. All right, and now we head into our final segment of the show. Well, second to final, I guess, if you want to really split hairs about it. This is And Another Thing, recommendations for our listeners / viewers. Sir, what have you got for our
I'm going to go for something a little bit off the beaten path. Normally, it's a movie, TV show, or book that I have read. maybe some music. But honestly, over the weekend, my wife and I had our first experience at a restaurant. And I know this sounds a little weird because it is local to me, but nonetheless, if you are in the Chicagoland area, if you can make your way to Roca Accor, it is a Japanese steakhouse. The one we went to is in Oak Brook, Illinois.
Wait, is this Oak Park?
This is not Oak Park. This is Oak Brook. Thank you very much.
Okay, but is it close to Oak Park?
It's not even close to Oak Park.
So
Oak Brook. That's all you need to know.
I'm sure you would have been closer if you'd been in Oak Park.
Anyways, we went there on Friday night and we had ourselves quite a meal. Quite a meal.
It sounds like you did.
It was restaurant week.
Was there any bourbon involved?
There was. I did try to get 1792 small batch. They were all out of all varietals of 1792.
Dude, you went to a Japanese steakhouse and you didn't get Japanese whiskey?
No. Why would I do that?
Because apparently there is this whole subsect of Japanese whiskey that is very highly regarded, and I have not dove into it, but apparently it's a thing.
I did not.
And I would like to very much just to see what that's like. I have no idea what the differences are. But anyways, continue. Sorry.
Thank you very much. So yes, I had American whiskey, but it was restaurant week, and they had a prefix menu that you could pick from, and so I did. And so I got 3 appetizers. I got some sashimi, which is sushi with no rice wrapped around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fish, basically. Got some dumplings that were really good. And then some kind of standard, rice wrap sushi that was, I think, a little bit on the spicy side. So it was quite good. So that was the first course. Second course, I got a Wagyu steak, which was phenomenal. I mean, it wasn't I will say the portions were not massive. It was smaller, but it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And it came with, you'll love this, it came with a corn side, which I thought when they served it to me was something that I should cut and eat the corn. Apparently they cut the cob in half, and I should have picked it up and ate it. But of course, I'm at a nice restaurant. I'm thinking I couldn't possibly pick up the food with my hands. So I actually tried cutting the corn off the cob, which was just, a lot of me almost flipping the plate over. Should have just, the people next to us got a similar dish and they were eating with their hands. I'm like, I should have just eaten with my hands. Here I am trying to be, high class, high brow, and I end up looking like a fool in the end.
Welcome to my world, sir.
And then my dessert was a kind of twist on a chocolate mousse using, I think it was using some Japanese sweet potato or something like that. It was very good. It was very good. So overall, I would highly recommend, if you're in the Oak Brook, Illinois area, Roca Accor, or if you're in downtown Chicago, I think they have a location down there as well. If you were looking for a good Japanese steakhouse, I would highly recommend it. The server we had was top notch. They aimed to please. They aimed to serve you well. We had a little bit of wait for our food, and we got some perks along the way, and our waiter took good care of us. So do check it out, and you will not be disappointed.
So for your first course there with the sushi,
yes,
did you do the uncooked or did you have fish that was cooked? Because I know that there's I always thought sushi was uncooked, but apparently there is not. It's
no,
not just
both
that.
were uncooked. Sashimi is uncooked, and the sushi they served was also uncooked.
How do you
ginger? Once you eat it, they give you a bunch of ginger that actually breaks the fish down.
Really?
Yes. So when you eat ginger, it actually is a catalyst to help break the raw fish down in your system.
But what is the texture like for that? Because that is the thing that
the ginger or the sushi?
The sushi. I can't imagine eating that uncooked like that. It's just.
It is. I mean, it's kind of what you'd expect. It's. No, I mean,
so gross. I mean, but that's what I
gross.
Expect.
No, come on now.
Well, no, don't come on now, me. It's uncooked meat, so I'm expecting gross. So that's what I'm expecting. You tell me what I should. If you're trying to sell me on this, do a better sales job, sir.
It just tastes like tender. It's like cold tender meat is what it tastes like.
Okay, so that
not ice cold. not ice cold.
Yeah,
but
like
not room temperature.
Not
Right.
not room temperature?
Not room temperature. It's kind of in between.
Okay.
Kind of in between.
So the thing is, like, this is one of those things where, like, so my wife is big. She loves balsamic vinegar.
Okay.
And it's one of those things that I wish I could get into, because I know that
It is quite good.
there is, like, balsamic vinegar. To me, it seems like the whiskey, the bourbon of the cooking oil, or, like, whatever cooking world. Like, it's a thing where it's like, oh, you can have it aged and this and that, and it adds so much flavor. And this, the friggin' smell of that stuff repulses me so much. And even though I know, like, oh my gosh, this could bring so much flavor, and I've had dishes where balsamic vinegar is used as a major ingredient, and I can eat it, but it's because it's also balanced with other things, so the smell and the taste isn't overwhelming. But it's one of those things where, like, I just can't get over it. Like, there is something about it that repulses me, and just the idea of, like, the uncooked meat
I
sort
do
of
dip
thing.
it in soy sauce. So I do take the
Okay.
raw fish and I do dip it in soy sauce. So there is a soy sauce flavor to it when
All
I
right.
go to chomp on it. So
I
was trying to avoid the
I
rice.
wanna try it.
I thought I was only getting one appetizer, and I wanted the sashimi because I did not want the rice. I was trying to keep the carbs out of my
Well,
my
good for
food.
you.
And unfortunately, they gave me 3, and I decided to eat all of them. So I was quite satisfied. The dumplings were incredible.
You know what? If you're gonna do it, just pedal to the metal, dude.
And then my wife, for her starter, she got a vegetarian sushi, which was which did have rice around it.
Mhm.
So it's basically rice with some vegetables kind of in the center. So there's no fish.
Okay.
But it has seaweed on the outside of it, which is interesting because I absolutely hate seaweed. If I'm on the beach and someone throws seaweed at me, I'm going to run and scream like a little girl because I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate the texture of it. I hate the presence of it. However, in food form, I don't seem to care, because when she offered me a bite of hers, I snagged one with my chopsticks, dumped it in the soy sauce, took a bite, and was like,
well, I mean,
phenomenal.
It's one of those deals where it's almost like soy sauce is the Eastern version of ketchup. Like, with enough of that, you can tolerate anything.
With a lot more sodium than ketchup has.
Which is saying something,
Which
because
actually in the restaurant, they gave us something that was lower sodium, though. It did not have as much. I remember the waiter said this. He said it is not high sodium. It is
okay. Well,
a special concoction they have where it is low sodium soy sauce. So,
all right, fine.
So, yeah. So, again, name of the restaurant, Roka Accor, Japanese Steakhouse, Oak Brook, Illinois. What is your and another thing, sir?
Not Oak Park, just to make sure all
Not
of our listeners understand.
Oak Park, Oak Brook.
Which is much more convenient if you were on the
should go read a book.
Train is that?
Go read a book.
Anyways, so I'm going to recommend for our listeners / viewers, Starter Villain, a book by John Scalzi. I've read several books by Mr. Scalzi, and he definitely lives in that sci-fi genre. I think he has some nonfiction books, and I was reading through his Wikipedia article, and he's a fairly interesting cat. What I really enjoy about his books is the fact that he is, and I'm going to rip this off shamelessly from Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, that he is, like, so accessible. His books just read very clear and cleanly. I breezed through this book in about 2.5 days. It's just one of those things where it doesn't. He doesn't get bogged down in jargon, in exposition, and all those things. Like, he has a very light way of writing where you get the character, you get the setting, and he gives you just enough information so that you get the overall situation, but he doesn't bog you down and, like, now let me give you 6 pages of exposition about this one particular thing that I think is really interesting, and only I think it's interesting. Like, he doesn't get bogged down in that world building.
Yeah.
And in this book, he's talking about a person who essentially inherits a villain business from his uncle, which is one of those things where it's like a lot of his characters are these kind of like lower echelon. It's almost like Star Trek Lower Decks. Like it's these lower echelon characters who find themselves in these situations, and it's like, this shit again. You know, that's sort of like sentiment. And having, you know, been through a lot of those jobs in my life, I'm like, hey, I recognize that feeling. I know that. His books just kind of float off the page, and it's one of those things where I will seek out one of his books when I've had a couple of books that are a little heavier or denser, and then it's like, okay, now it's time for a palate cleanser. Let me just get a good yarn. He's had a couple of other books that I've read. One of them is Red Shirts, which is kind of exploring that idea of like if you're in Star Trek, the Star Trek universe, and you beam down in a red shirt, you're dead. And it plays off of that kind of sort of thing. Another one is the Kaiju Preservation Society, which is very interesting. What was the other one I read? I thought I read another one. I might not have, actually. I think I just started another book of his called Lock In. So I think that's the one I'm thinking about. But his books really just kind of roll off the page. Like you really just kind of want to keep reading and find out what happens next. And it's one of those deals where you can read like 3-4 chapters and be like, okay, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
Because now it's 11.
Yep.
And I know I need to go to bed, so just stop. But yeah, I'd give any of his books a read. A really good author at balancing kind of that accessibility and also some very interesting concepts that actually he manages to deliver on, because there's a lot of books that you read where you're like, oh my gosh, it's a great concept, and the author just drilled it into the ground. He delivers on these concepts, which is a really nice turn of events, if you will. So I expect you to have read his entire, not discography, but his entire bibliography by the time we record next, and report back on your findings, sir.
I shall.
Good.
I shall.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is about the end of our show, and thank you very much for sticking with us. We appreciate it. If you've made it this far, damn it, buy yourself a drink on us. Well, I'm going to have one. So thank you to all the members of the Free Range Idiocy Congregation who have joined us here. If you are not a member of the Free Range Idiocy Congregation, you're kind of wondering, what the hell is that? Simply, it's our listeners. So you can subscribe and become part of that congregation by going to freerangeidiocy.com, and you can find all of our episodes there. You can download them one by one. You can download them all at the same time by subscribing to the Podbean app. If you say to yourself, Uncle Todd, I've got enough apps in my life. If they're not mozzarella sticks, it's shit. Well, then go right ahead and find us on the podcast purveyor of your choice. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Pandora. Did you lose something? We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're on all of the different podcast services. Search for Free Range Idiocy. You will find us. We're also full video podcasts available on Spotify. You can also find a full video on our YouTube channel, which leads me into the social medias portion of our show. Excuse me. I need a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper to go.
Way to lead that one in. All right, here we go.
If you're into the social medias, you can find us on the Instagram. You can find us on the Facebook. You can find us on the YouTubes. All of those are at Free Range Idiocy. And as I said, on the YouTubes, we have full video episodes. You can watch us conduct our idiocy, and on Spotify you can toggle back and forth apparently. So if you get tired of looking at us, you can just go over to the audio version and just call it good. We're not going to be offended. We just like to watch all of the numbers go up, so it just gives us a big yeehaw moment. If you have any thoughts, concerns, or questions, or you just like to have your name read out on the internet, you send those to tim@freerangeidiocy.com, and we will answer those, take those suggestions under advisement, or if you offer us money, hey, we'll say whatever the hell you want. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to turn over this show to the man who's sitting next to the man who's sitting next to the man who's sitting next to the man who just headbutted the microphone.
I did.
The least idiotic of the two idiots who run this show. Granted, it is a very low bar to clear, but he clears it with aplomb, and maybe even a bunch of grapes and and a pear.
How about an orange?
I mean, an orange. I mean, hell, whatever.
You have used quite a bit in those old fashions.
Whatever you fracking want. I mean, well, yes, I have 3/4, and you know what? I have a chance to finish off the whole damn thing tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, not before asking the second most important question in all of human history. Of course, we all know, if you're a listener here, the most important question in all of human history, brought to us by Emilio Castillo and Doc Kupka, the band Tower Power, saying, what is hip? Of course, the eternal question, but the second most important question being, the frack did we learn this episode, if anything?
We learned the following.
Oh, thank goodness, at least.
My friend, we have learned that Monday Night Raw is producing, pretty high quality show. Not a lot of jeers from Uncle Todd and the man they called him this last week. It was solid. It was solid. And,
wait, I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I just hit my desk here. Was it as solid as Steve Austin's Cats, though? That's the important.
Well, I don't know. That's a whole other realm because they are solid ass cats, not solid cats. So,
but still,
are you saying was it a solid ass episode of Monday Night Raw?
Yes.
According to the man they called him, yes.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, good.
100%. So do check it out. We have also learned that the Super Bowl. We have seen our villain, Patrick Mahomes, get the clock cleaned. That was so deserved for him and his team. And we here salute the Philadelphia Eagles, even though they did beat the Patriots a few years ago. But we will salute them for
that is a rough one.
Handing out that smoting.
What is it? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
The friend of my enemy is my friend.
I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
We've also learned that Uncle Todd is no longer the poster boy for smoke. It is now the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, I do declare I'm not happy that my poster ability has been taken from me, but I am happy.
Well, we have learned that the real fantasy football champion, the man they call Tim, is scouting and preparing for next season, and he is he has some ideas. What the hell was that? The siren for 2 seconds?
Sorry, I missed by one.
He had hit the shut up Wesley button, I see. We've also learned that Captain America 4 is fertile ground for some very interesting theories and postulations of what could happen.
This is where it's a family show. We don't need to be talking about fertility.
I said it's fertile ground. I'm very clear. Fertile ground.
Good
for
sir.
Postulatudes or theories.
Are you talking about posteriors now? My goodness, there's children listening to this.
But nonetheless, the free-range idiocy idiots have not adjudicated, but we have made our selections. We will adjudicate in a couple weeks and see who is real and who is jabroni. Indeed. We've also learned what has been the phrase we have repeated several times this episode that is now escaping. You've said this several times, and I'm trying to remember when you said it, what you said.
Posterior?
No, not posterior. That was just now. That is not a repeated phrase for this episode. Actually, one thing we have learned is Kalen's Comedy Corner may soon supplant Uncle Todd.
I'm just getting. It's been a matter of time until I just get
this may be reading time for Uncle Todd, not podcasting time. And we've also learned that this show knows no bounds when it comes to subsegments. We have the Week in Geek. We have a subsegment of the Week in Geek, and then another subsegment of the Week in Geek. And apparently we have theme music for said subsegments. So, we're just a fertile ground for
you and your fertility again, my God.
Producing more content for the show.
Is it the running season for you? Like, what's going on here? What is happening, sir?
We've also learned Uncle Todd is very sensitive to the word fertile, apparently. So.
Just saying. My goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
The man they call Tim is in the rut.
I'm trying to remember what was. There was a phrase we've been saying.
Hat on a hat.
That's what it is. Hat on a hat. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We've also learned that hat on a hat is Uncle Todd's favorite phrase.
You are worse than
for virtually anything.
Well, I mean, it works.
And I don't know that we've learned this, but, the man they call Tim, he's still doing his part to consume the meats, as he has done for Super Bowl and for, what's that look for? I had my skirt steak. I had my Italian sausage. What?
I want some appreciation for the fact that I had so many jokes in the holster right there, and I did not use any.
Good for you. Good for you. As you should practice some discipline and some self-control there, sir. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. My God, we're going to hear that siren go off more times than we probably want to hear. With all that being said, we thank you, as my co-host has said already, and I will reinforce, we thank you for the listenership and the downloads. Yeah. And as we like to close things out here at the range, be safe, be healthy, be kind, be good to one another. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. The range is closed for now. See ya.
You are worse than Hulk Hogan.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
Damn!
You're such a disappointing pair. I prayed so hard for you. Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
So say we all. So say we all.
Like Mussolini. Hat on a hat. Good God Almighty.
Hat on the hat, man. It's Uncle
You
Corny.
only said it like 50 times in a show, and I couldn't remember what the heck you said.
I'm just hoping to get some of those Uncle Corny, sort of numbers.
You talk about me and my affiliate program. What about your Uncle Corny program over there?
Well, I mean, I'm hoping I'm going to be a guest on his show, and then
hey, I saw an article. Apparently, he's suing some of his. I don't know if they're advertisers or what they are, but he's not getting some of his ad revenue that apparently he should be getting.
Oh, you don't want to F around Uncle Corny. He'll grab you by the goozle pipe.
That's income. You don't mess with Uncle Corny. Yes,
don't mess
the
with his
goozle
money.
comes into play, and look out when he gets goozling. It's all over.
He's like Snoop. He's got his mind on his money and his money on his mind.
And his co-host isn't going to stand for that either. Brian Last.
No, and
you can take care of business.
You know who else has got their mind on their money?
Indeed. The road to WrestleMania. Paved in gold. It's in the Elimination Chamber. We will see what happens.
Now get the hell out of here!